Yes, Fambulem, I bring warm and very special greetings to the entire masses of Sierra Leonean people on a very auspicious occasion, which is none but the independence anniversary of a nation, 61 years of independence. Um, just before I go into the independence thing, I need to explain a few things quickly. And one of them therefore do with housekeeping. We entertain a civilized conversation here where we disagree for agree as Sierra Leoneans. We disagree for agree. And I say this because we dey get new entrants them on a daily basis because the old one then we don't follow the chart on it clearly well. But the new one where they could just for explain this that would attain rudeness now, yeah? You can therefore learn how to use words them or how to criticize in a civilized fashion. This is what we hear. On another note, we get Boku other program then where they come on and I must apologize. I've been away for a while and this business will depend. We are so many that the moment where you leave the scene, if you got too much more than that, you suffer the viewership numbers. And everybody, including the big channel, been a victim as well. But not they continue steadfast. We know what you want for do, and how get we message to the Sierra Leonean people. It's been a difficult period, about 3 weeks. Me meet Deputy Kamara Supermed. It's on holidays for about a week. A month rather. My apologies. And even that month might be extended to probably an additional week or two. But we'll see what happens. So the of the work of TV has been me and me and me and so it's because people and you get other obligations them as well, family, work, and you name it. But notwithstanding, we've taken up the man for have a conversation with Sierra Leone people without much independence. Sierra Leone's in the 61 years independence. And as I speak to Una, first of all, I just want to toast the entire nation, the loving people of the Republic of Sierra Leone, the government and the people. This toast is to the people. Yes, indeed, very much. So, we dey expect few guests. I don't know if they will turn up, but this is not a two-part series. Three of them were supposed to be on the show tonight. Probably they will join later. There's been some confusion, and I take the responsibility. What's the confusion? The flyer will bring out for a two-part series, part one and part two, and the graphics and rules. So not to everybody go read everything through. You see the same graphics, same color. You just assume well, same thing. Okay, I think we'll get one of we guests. Okay, I think we'll get one of we guests. Let's just establish. Hello,
Yes, I do.
hello.
Yeah, I can hear you. Yes, I can
Okay,
hear
I think
you.
we already get problem with the audio with Mr. Alfred
Mm,
Sankos. You hear me now, yeah?
I
Okay,
can hear you,
brilliant.
yes.
Brilliant. Many thanks for coming on the show. I just to remove you briefly, just stay where you are. I did do the introduction of the show. Yeah, thank you very much. So, Fambule, like I say, Mr. Sanko don't join the show. Alias Cashbox, we expect two more, but hopefully they turn up because they get even more constraints than Mr. Cashbox. But we see what happens. So, what I've been talk about now the tidying effect. House rules. We disagree for agree. We want for conduct a civilized debate. You don't have to agree with me. And in fact, what I'm looking for is people who are diametrically close to me. These are the kind of people I'm looking for, so that we can have a brilliant discussion regarding we nation. I can say again, I'm away for a while because my immediate deputy, Mr. Mohammed Kamara, has been away for a month and probably will extend that to a month and a half. And everything else is on me, and you get other obligations. But having said this again, it's Sierra Leone's Independence Day. I don't toast to now one more time because I like the mixture. Thank you very much. God bless them. So we already one of we guests, and I'm very happy to have me, Alfred Sankosi. We don't make a name for himself internationally, and is more known as Cashbox. Cashbox, if you can give me 1 minute, I've been there to introduce not the program itself, but just housekeeping rules. So, funding being independent as you don't turn sick man, and barely 100 years, I say barely because nations were far older than that. Written for 150 years. 150 years. 150 years came to an end. In other words, rule foreign rule came to an end. Um, can deal with the PK come first. You off screen. That rule they were effectively at the stroke of midnight, the 27th of April, 1961. The stroke of midnight on the 10th of April, 1961, Leone became one of the newest. Remember, there were waves and waves of independent nations emerging in the 1960s. Sierra Leone became of them. And one of the most important period to see a flag, a foreign flag on the soil of Sierra Leone, which was being for over 150 years. I'm talking Union Jack Bulem for Kandong Moment Day. Some people will not be hold their emotion as they see a new flag, the green, white, blue stripes unfold by the wind, taking up, flown up by Union Jack in the candle. They are massive and usher an era of hope for Unions them. An era immediately Unions them that a new is here. This new was still waiting to happen. This new nation in which we expect prosperity. There was a huge crowd, Fambulem, massive crowd we gather now a place we come later after independence, playing a particular the way they call Brookfields playground inside Freetown. Like crowded and bullet for white and flag for Kandong Union Jack flag for Kandong. Waiting to go up immediately. Now the Galilean we make the crowd broke into a frenzy, emotionally broken people them in for holla. They shout, they cry, whichever could have done it because the Independence Day be not for my come. We not celebrate this Independence Day just by itself. Of course, the people that have been colonized to either end up ending this with us. The Duke of Kent there and was there in an official capacity from the Queen of England or the royalty in England for hand over the royal instrument president in the Agate protocol. We recognize this new nation called Sierra Leone. Also, we know say by action there was governor present the monarchy in England as they ruled Sierra Leone, and that thing they happened for Sir Maurice Don in the government from 1956 to independence. He was sworn by Justice Betts. We can go into the history. Most of us know the history, but I've been just one give a taster to the program and say thank you to Mr. Sanko for bringing the program. Mr. Sanko, I don't say don't make himself a lot of people know you. Of course, as a decent plan, we want just give you the opportunity for let you just for thank you first of all for taking the opportunity for appearing on the platform, which is due by the way. At the same time, for one that don't know you, for know you and give us a brief perspective about what you about independence and now.
Thank you. Thank you.
File.
Thank you
Yeah.
very much.
Okay. So you get audio. You get audio now. Yeah.
Yes, if you can hear me, but I think you're breaking up in between. I'm not sure if it's the network, but
Okay. Probably it's network. I hear you clearly now. Not been hearing you at all. It could be network and me volume they on high. And normally we can get volume problem. But I
okay.
hope see you hear me now, sir.
Yes, loud and clear,
So
actually.
just a brief introduction and let me hear your perspective, opinion, and view about 61 years of independence before
Mm,
we go into this program.
absolutely. Thank you very much for having me. It's always a pleasure here, being here, and like I want to believe that this platform has come a very long way, and we've been, and I'm proud to say, like I've been part of, the successes of this platform. And interestingly, this morning, and by the way, before I even jump into that, I just want to make see, like people appreciate you, and I, for one, really, really appreciate you and the strides where you did make. And
Thank you very
I
much.
think it's for the common good for Wikonski. And this is the reason why I keep saying that, if this era passed we now Wikonski, then I'm really afraid that Salone will get another chance, because you know everywhere from from pillar to post, you must see a Sierra Leonean where they talk about Wikonski, even though some part we can be selfish, some part we then go label we as being selfish, some part we like genuine, because but again, no matter whose side you stand, people are going must label you. And I really want appreciate you a lot, because I think it is about time Salon make that change and become the country where we deserve for become. And and that leads me to the whole Independence Day celebration, Prince Goma. I mean, waiting realistically independence supposed for mean to we. It is the act of being independent. But realistically, look around you. I mean, every Sierra Leone, especially the one them way they live in a Salone, how independent people their lives them day in that country day. If you say we independent, like even the president giving a speech, he always they praise the international community. Why? Because the international community continue for giving money. Like they will tell you, say, like during the COVID, for instance, like we the money we then give we it pass waiting we they collect as a country for revenue. How independent are we? When you look at a country where the trillions of dollars where this country worth, but yet still we kind of like every day they beg, they wait for handout from the international community. A president where they get in speech, all in praise, not to the international community, none to the people, none to the achievement of the country, none to waiting we actually don't use, with natural resources, for. All praises seem for the go to the international community. Our focus is just set of how we appease the international community so they can give us like grant, like donation, free handouts. That is all we're looking for. It is a shame. And some people are going to tell me, say, what do you expect? we country that poor. No, we country not that poor. I used to say that. I used to be blinded that way as well. But look, you cannot look at Salone. You cannot, even the independence, the history where you did so just now, the Union and Jack flag where been there before they kind of like put a non when and declare us as like an independent nation. Like the slave. I watch a documentary. I don't want to go. I know it's supposed to be an introduction, but it is just laying the foundation to say the country not independent at all. You look at like the judiciary. All I can kind of like tell this government, waiting in the only success is the capturing of institution of a country. Only success. Capturing the parliament. Parliament cannot speak up. The judiciary cannot speak. Like the fourth estate, they cannot speak, Prince Kroma. So where is the independence we're all celebrating today? I decide to wear green, white, and blue, but like, honestly, what's there to celebrate? I believe like the real Independence Day for Salone is ahead of us. It's completely, definitely ahead of us because like we've not gained independence yet at all as a country. Over to you.
My brother, first of all, can I just say many, many thanks for your kind sentiment. Um, the first sacrifice, na the altar of how they can normally say of truth. The first sacrifice, pan this conversation who depend, generally speaking, is truth. So we they under relentless attacks. But just want to make a known say I appreciate your kind sentiment. And the one that we did on the relentless attacks, it's like I am not going to be put off. I made up my mind a long time ago, knew what I was coming into. I will not be intimidated. I will not be cowed. And the fact that you mention few things like we like in inverted commas, appreciate you speaking for many because you got a legion of fans. Okay. So
Yeah.
that alone is kind of reassuring. But many thanks for those kind sentiments. But we're on here today, Fambulem, for talk about Salone independence. And I've been one for let we look at it then and the now. Let's look at a critical moment of this independence. Let's just play a short video quickly, please, Fambulem. Here we are. Okay, Mr. Cashbox, it's a little bit over a 3 minute video. I will play the second part shortly into this conversation between myself and you to the Sierra Leonean people. But this video is quite telling. And you can hear in my introduction, I talk about the optimism, the downing of a new hope for a people. Independence, which you talked about, is like, what's the meaning of independence? Because we then need to understand the word independence and what it entail contextually, whichever way you want to look at it. When they talk about a nation, we've been there under somebody else in rule for 150 years. And then you say you don't get your independence today, so you want to look forward. We can't do that because I know you are very critical of government. But we want to give fair time, from the beginning to where we are, Mr. Sanko. So during that period where you see so much optimism in the life and times of the people, and if you look at the streets of Freetown, and I can tell you, say, when me born, I meet some of the infrastructure and they largely the infrastructure and they've been there in place. I work on a Kisi Street, Kisi Road, of course, I born at Dovecourt. And not to that Dovecourt as we can define it today, we mean the was na got and a Dovecourt. So you can just imagine that you can't do that today. Wakana Kisi Street and Kisi Road go by, Susna Bata, go Patterson, Zokonis, PZ, and you name it. All of that we do. Train where they pan the video. I rode those trains, and maybe that one day where they pass safe, even because I rode train so many times, my brother. I do get emotional when they talk about this because these were times that I saw shortly after independence. I was born. That's how old enough I am. But yes, but Freddie, during that same day, there were still problems. It's not like the country was united even at independence because I'm sure you've done your history a little bit in which there was one section of the society where we go call probably the Siaka Stevens owner side, where we they say, no, we don't need independence now. But Milton Magai and the SLPP they say, no, we need independence now. So there was this disjointed conversation where we they on go. But Britain, of course, not be able to take care of we any longer. So then decide for giving the independence anyway. And when they give it that Independence Day, during the independence itself, the leader of the All People's Congress, Shaka Stevens, was arrested. Most people do not know the history there, but he was arrested. And there was a state of emergency while the celebration may go on, because these people they plan a protest for disrupt. Imagine the Queen they attend for disrupt the process. The point I'm trying to make, Alfred, is this confusion has long been going in the division between SLPP and APC, so not to today. But for fast track come to the 60s, the late 60s and 70s, the All People's Congress Party been in power after the demise, I want for column of SLPP, because it became a one-party state. So you get a school of thought where say largely the destruction of the state, the institutions, the infrastructures, were largely at the hands of the All People's Congress. If not something where you're familiar with, and I want to let you speak about both politically, socially, and economically, I will really appreciate if you can give me your thoughts on that, both in the then and the now.
Thank you, Prince Koma. I must mind my words. You see, you talk about this thing about hope, and that's exactly when you see the people and they jubilate around the state, you can see the sense of hope. Like they see, say, people were very happy thinking that there is a brighter future. The commentator, like on that video, they try to talk about, like, how they end, slave trade and all that in the day. And, like waiting with the fail for realize. For me, yes, like the past is kind of like a bit messy, like the story where you give right there, the history where the lie, social service, I don't know, it's social studies we used to do at school them days when we were in primary school, telling us about these things. When you look at, for me, I think like the past was a bit messy. Somebody go argue, say, was Shaka Stevens like right when he made the statement, say, we don't need independence at the time? I do not know. But now the fact that, in hindsight, I see and say, maybe like he was right, because at the end of the day, like when they kind of like can give we independence now, we look how messy we are up to this day. Like I think like Singapore get the same independence as us round about the same time. Look at where they are today. Look how messy we country today. Just like when you talk about the train, say maybe say you actually ride in train today. I mean, I didn't, unfortunately. Until like I can't see train in London. But you see, when you look at all today, where did we go wrong? Why do we kind of like allow these things them for rotting and did not actually maintain them at all? The question, I mean, these are all the questions and where I feel say, we ought for ask and be ashamed of. How can you like be given something and then instead of you develop on it, you make it better and kind of like bring new ideas them to it, you allow them for rotting? Where did we go wrong? So again, the question you ask, say, oh, the APC came with one party state and all that in the day. I can always say this. It was wrong, as somebody go say, but I like to give examples. I like for compare, democracy as it is right now is the best system in the world. It's the system where they bring confidence. It's the system where all man expected for expect everybody for partake into it. But when you look at we country today, realistically, democracy they operate now we country. For me, I think it is even worse than a one-party state. And when you look at like other countries, let me look at China. These are communist states. Yeah, as I say, democracy is the best system for me in the world right now. But is it kind of like always, is it applicable and best for every system and society at all times? I do not know. That's another argument for another day. But even with the one party state where like the APC bring up, what did they do for transform Salone? For me, it is not the one party state that is the problem. Because, like, look at China, as I just said. I mean, look how China kind of like, in fact, the thing where we condemn, an Escoma for like chairman for life, we're not a president for life. Now they don't give the president lifetime. Like we die until he die. They don't give him. But does that make like China kind of like begin retrogress and all that in there? I do not know. And surely not. It is about the vision. It is not about like having a one-party state. It is the vision if a leader gets. Singapore, it takes for make one leader, not a democracy it carry to, but it carries a drastic change. Look how it transforms Singapore. So it is not, but what did they do? Even I can hear some people in the talk say, oh, when Shaka Stephen bring come the OAU wake up host the OAU, then cost Salone Diali. These are all things them for me where are facing a rubbish statement. Certain events them they come for make them develop a nation. Like for instance, another example, Qatar, as it is right now, they're hosting the World Cup. Why did they take you go say Qatar are rich? But that's not the point. If even you go take debt for kind of like get these things going, get these things done, what do you do to develop it? How do you make it become like transformative so it will benefit society, future generation? For me, that is the key. It is not, first of all, about one party. If it is one party, what did you do at the time? What did Shaka Stevens do? I mean, did like in your own time, whether you're one party or not, it is about the vision how for change your country.
Okay. I just want to push back on one or two things, but well said. But the comparative analysis where you make between Qatar and Sierra Leone in some major events, then where they're supposed for transform to the benefit or we go derive dividend for the country them. Unfortunately, Salone did not. And if I understand you well, then can blame Shaka Stephen for bringing the OAU, but the OAU in most people's mind was a disaster because you will be advised, economically advised. And the idea behind it was one about morale, it was one about prestige. In a different sense, about an individual. They talk about Sheikh Stephen and the OAU. So the advice given then economically, it won't be okay for let you host this because you go get for broke the bank and the reward will not be great. It will cost your country. As opposed to Qatar, yes, Qatar is rich, that's true, but then they host an event which is worldwide. So if eventually they're going to derive some dividend from this. So in my opinion, there are differences between the two. I wonder whether you disagree with that.
Yeah, I think I totally disagree. The reason why I say this, if I believe a lot about branding and stuff like that, or for make you become like noticeable in the world, you go say Qatar it is the world, like now the world then they attract. Yes, I agree. But everything we have to kind of like, make we attraction be known or be seen now we vicinity where we day. For instance, Prince Roma, the dinner now, what are you penetrating right now? It's the Sierra Leonean community, it's the Liberian community. And then, like, you start from there and then begin take them from Usai. You want them from where the world begin to see them. Hopefully, like, in few years' time, we will be seen by the world. If not now. But this is the point. You start from your vicinity. You start from Usai Uday. Usai Crab Able, Nade Idebet. For me, to say like financially, like it could well have been used to our advantage where people will become recognized as a nation, a newly born nation, and say, you know what? Let's do something where they attract the world to us. But what did, again, this is the thing. What did they do to kind of like for make them make the OAU after we spend everything we had to spend at the time? What did they do to make Salone become attractive to other parts of the world so they go benefit from waiting we get. And Prince Koma, this is what I have to say. And I did not know this for a very, very long time living in Sierra Leone. You know, waiting Salone get, honestly, you know, as the program they go, you know, we could go for talk about this. But waiting Salone get, we not deserve for Dana this kind of predicament.
Well, a lot of people go share that sentiment there with you, and I'm not sure whether I disagree with you either, because I've worked in a certain circle where they in the know, and they've said the same thing based on waiting the country get. The people of Sierra Leone not deserve the kind of poverty that they are in. But what I'm trying to drive to is this poverty is not to today, Freddie. So you again talk about the OAU and Shaka Stephen, and I think say I catch something from waiting you they say, which I do agree with, even though I've been disagree before, because it is true that the basis on which this chairmanship been they go around now been one of prestige that have chaired the OAU, which is now the African Union, the AU. But what they get from you is that could have been turned to applause. You know, we will benefit the nation. But you see, you potentially could be part of the legion of modern thinkers who were not available then or within this context for Sia Massage. Because all Shaka Stephen wanted was to be the chair of the OAU, bring prestige to Salone, whereas a thinking person like you can see and like say, well, there could have been economic benefits in that sense. For them, it was only political. That, you know, yeah, I'm the leader, you know, yeah, for the OAU. But well said. Moving forward, Mr. Sankor, going back to independence, Shaka Stephen disagree with the Independence Day program. In say, what we need first of all before independence is a free and fair election. And because of the entrances they way make, of course, he opposed to that. He was arrested. He was arrested just before the Independence Day program because then me feel say it will make trouble. And he be also getting a turn man at the time where be very popular, where happened for be the late Wallace Johnson. All of them are late now. And they had 16 other party members, and these were heavyweights. The point I'm trying to drive home, Alfred, is there was this disconnect. Even at independence, we're supposed to bring we come together. If that disconnect maybe exists 61 years ago, are we surprised that we are seeing this disconnect, you know, here today?
Yes, I think I'm hugely surprised with like the disconnect. You know, politics will always be politics. You know, politics will always be like the game of deceit. Not at the detriment of people's life. And I think the lies, you know, where we see today, I think the world don't go way beyond it, way beyond that. And I know that there was like disconnect at the time, like the independence and all that, which, you know, for me, as I say, was Shaka Stevens right when he made that proclamation or when he stood up against like being independent? For me, like, it's like I say, I will support him and say, yes, it was right. If delicate today, we don't achieve something as a country, I will be say, oh, Shaka Stephen was wrong. But because of the situation where we did, I think it was right. I honestly think, you know, the real independence, as I said earlier, is ahead of us. Salone not enjoy anything where like not anything near independence at all. You know, and for me, like the disconnect exists then day. Maybe sometimes it is here and say it was wrong. Let me allow many people that kind of like they at the end of things, and then maybe they start kind of like left more infrastructures there, or the infrastructures that when they be even they may show we out for use them or improve on them better before we even kind of like think of being independent. But today, when you look at today, now the fact that if people are fighting for like, you know, the betterment of the country, see and say me vision where I get, I will fight for it, because you must fight for what you believe in. See and say, you know, like where I come, I want change Salone, I want transform Salone. You know, I want come with free education. and free education that works. I want come make sure say waiting we get if we minimal resources is there we worth trillions of dollars. I don't want make we dip bigger. I come with vision. You know, when you come with that vision, you will fight for it. But waiting with the see now we country delicate today, people are fighting not for the vision of the country, but what they can make, the vision that they had for years, being millionaires. This is what I can see in our country. That's the whole fight in Africa. You know, in Europe and like the Western world or country that were serious, people fight for leave legacy. They fight for legacy. And the legacy is what gives them money in the future. You know, people in that country they kind of like they fight for see and say, I can give you an example again. Like the Tony Blair, like when he was a prime minister, almost not being salary 250,000 £250,000 for a year. Now the guy wait or left being a prime minister, the guy makes about $3 million pounds every year because like it worked through. Imagine with the clouds about Iraq war and all that thing, and they kind of like taint them a little bit, but yet still it managed to make $3 million pounds every year. Think about whether if this guy in legacy was even better, cleaner, what he could have been making right now. The people fight for their vision. They fight for make them say they make a mark. Like every time Tony Blair talks, you like I always hear him saying, "Oh, well, I bring peace na Salone." One of the things because it is the legacy. People will pay for that. People will pay to listen that. They fight for what they believe in, the legacy, the vision that they want to kind of like execute. But we on country, unfortunately, people fight for go make money for themselves. Look at the wealth. You know, I'm not saying I kind of like inch for saying this. And I keep saying this that people do not understand. There was a research, credible research about we country. When they tell we say, waiting we get that we water, with marine resources. They even compare to Turkey. They say, and if some people think we border the Atlantic Ocean. We're right there at the Atlantic Ocean. They tell we say we could be making $400 million every month from marine resources, which could be close to $5 billion a year, 4.8 billion to be precise. But we could even do better. Let me say $5 billion dollars. You know how much Salone they collect for a year? $500 million. $500 million dollars. You know, in a way, 10%. We, as a country, the total money we will collect, it is 10% of what we could be making in just marine resources. Does that not bother people in that country? That is my worry. Lack of vision. Okay. People just don't have an idea. You read about Salone, they will tell you say the minimum resources what we get is worth over trillions. What are we doing with that?
Okay. It's a good question. The mineral resources where we get under we water, under we land, under the mountain, and the way we see so it's worth trillions of dollars. And as we see also now where we the land, we this generation here, and hopefully the generation to come, depending on what we do for the generation yet to come. It is true that we country is endowed with many mineral resources we're supposed for benefit the country as a whole, and Sierra Leoneans not supposed to be in that predicament. Ladies and gentlemen, those of who now just joined the program, we are having a conversation on Sierra Leone's 61st independence anniversary. It's quite a long way, 61 year, and per waiting we get, as we understand from we guest, we should have been way ahead. Probably far more than Qatar, far more than Malaysia, far more than the Gulf countries. Yes, indeed, that's possible. Mr. Sanko, some very critical questions them as per the now. But for now, I want to base this conversation basically on historical perspective and take 10 March come into the future or where we are now. So, Freddie, there's a lot of talk. It just adds for take you away from financial economic matters because this is not your own discipline. I think you sleep and wake finance and economics and etc. But on a more serious note, mismanagement we apparently seem for be with problem. We don't manage well. waiting we get or we not understand. It's been ongoing for the duration of the birth of this country, the age of this country. It don't go on. So I bring this to you, say, all of these things that you outlined, which are true, it not begin today. It begin some time ago. And this is why I tell you about this train story. And just after independence, the infrastructure then we been there. It seemed A to me, where I go left for let you answer. We not been get the right set of people locally for run them program there. In other words, civil servants that we understand exactly how to run the entire program. Then we take them, we get into the indigenous people, and remember, Sir Albert Magai won the independence. So therefore, now in design the project from that point day on, and it not even last long, and we begin for see this again. I keep using the word disunity for effect, and rightfully so. In brother, try for hijack state institutions. Them, it broke away from him. It joined Siaka Stephen. He then left and then he went back because why? Political opportunism been there at play even during those earlier times. But having said this, Mr. Sankor, within the 1970s, where we see one party rule, we see the destruction of the state. And I'm telling you this because I witnessed this. It can get a bit, at least we may eat palmine and fish. Now the best way for put them. You go able for eat sardine and egg, and even care lunch go to school, you able drink soft drink. Okay? You able for turn faucet and water come out. You able for switch the black and white, switch the bulb and get and light come on. I see all of that begin for deteriorate during me time. I see me mama, may her soul rest in peace, and not able for buy fish anymore. Now the introduction of wheat soup, if you understand wheat soup, you can't put palmine inside the soup. It now become wheat soup. And lily bonga and what have you for let you picking and eat. So the destruction of the state, sorry I get a bit emotional, it started some time ago. And not mean say it could not have been fixed now. But where's the blame game on the other side? We damage the institutions of state. Partyism, cronism, nepotism became the order of the day. And hence we see that march into where we are. Say something about then, Freddie, if you will, please.
I totally agree, and I'm so sorry. Right there when you mentioned your mama, I can see the emotions right there. You see, this is the thing, and we can go back and let's blame them. And the points where you make earlier, say maybe like the visionaries were not there. Certain exposure where we get now, maybe it wasn't there at the time. I don't agree because when you look at like the Western world or developed nations, them, I believe if we try for the mirror, some of these things that these guys are doing at them part of the world they are, I'm not saying that we will get to where they are like in a day or in 1 year, 2 years. I'm not saying that. But just mirroring what they're doing will take us a long way. If we think about it, in the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, I believe was the time when the country there be actually they do the underground them, they do the train them, where we can meet now the country there. Surely it was those times. It was those times like these guys were kind of like thinking of how to grow, like electricity and all that in the day. We were growing it. Like they were growing in that front, infrastructure and all that in the day. And surely we had people that used to come to the West to study. Prince Coma, everything that we talk about now about Salone, not to say that Salone we mirror what these countries are doing. We kind of like see what they're doing and say, oh, if even we implement 1% of what they're doing in our country, we can make the difference. And this is the thing where, like, yes, we go say, oh, in the older days, maybe the people did not have the idea. Where were they living? They were living, yes, maybe globalization, it's a recent thing compared to the past. But, people were living, Sierra Leone, coming to like the West and see how they live. Most of them even live here and then they go back to Salone. I know I come to the now, but let's go back to the then. And this is the reason. Yes, it is a shared responsibility. It is painful that the people in the past did not do enough for make we get to a stage. But It must come to a time, especially the last 20 years or so, like going back to like the NPRC days. We saw like people, Ghana made the difference after the revolution with Jerry Rawlings. It made the difference to Usai Ghana there now. People, they say Ghana used to go to Salone for even go buy paste and all that in the day. Where did we go wrong? Where? Then you come like the NPRC, waiting they can do, they all can leave like, money where they no plan see. They all can, because they did not have the vision. So for me, like, I think, yes, it is a shared responsibility going way back. And no one will tell me, and I agree that, oh, well, maybe at the time, the mentality was archaic and all that. No, but it was the same archaic mentality the West was using to develop their nation. Did we try to mirror them? And they were leaving their own African countries and come to these countries. What did they do to kind of like see Naya and say, oh, two lights there, Naya, let me carry one, or even half na Salone? Did they try to think that way? What did they do? Because if the country did like how we did so, yes, it is that the fact that nothing not been there. But it goes back to the point, where did we start? If I remember, I wasn't there when they say Anescroma came. Salone be dark. When I remember like during Pakabari days, like growing up, when lights they come, certain now then go try the best for give lights na freedom during Christmas. That's the best they can do. I remember those days. They sing say lights don't come. They dance say lights don't come. What waiting you go say waiting like the Shaka Stevens then do? Like the reformers them will come, the NPRC. What did they do? How they change the country? They come out today, then you kind of like, come the days of Makaba, come the days of Anescroma. What did they do? We see to the fact that like, every time this government they come, they will tell you, say, oh, I do this. But when they think like, and Pakaba, we don't leave America for years. What did these guys, what's the guy they actually learn when they made America? What's in the land? Because me not gonna live in America, say I'm gonna lead a country, then I not achieve anything. And I complete me turn back. What vision they had at the time when they said they go rule the country? So for me, like, yes, I agree that it is like an historical thing. It is a historical thing, but if and I don't want to drive you to the now, I want to stick to the then. But surely, I believe for me, I blame the now big time. And the now could be the last 10 years or the last 20 years, but I blame the now big time.
Okay, many thanks for that, Mr. Sankor. And of course, your views are highly respected. And I think say at the beginning for resonate with your view of the blaming of the now. And only for one reason. I'm not sure whether you thought about this, other than you just say, look and say you blame the now. The reason why at the beginning for chime with you is, even if we had it wrong, it's the business of the now to have studied why we got it wrong and for right waiting we get wrong and how we get it wrong, so that we people and we able for benefit out of it. In other words, elections are won on this basis, if you understand. The current government tell we say, for example, the last government was corrupt and many other things, many other negatives. True. So therefore, the thing where you tell we now for let we vote for you, so you go change this narrative for we go better we. Yet 4 years on, we are yet to see how effective that thing the way you tell we say you go do is happening. Instead, by some people we're seeing quite the worst. I just to say why at the beginning for agree with you. And thank you so much. And ladies and gentlemen, by the way, we are having a serious conversation here on Sierra Leone at 61. I just read the chat room just now. There are a few people that will say open the lines because I think say they want for call. And I don't think say I have any restrictions on that. And I don't think say Mr. Sanko has got restrictions on that as well. Because we like for your view. You get question for Mr. Sanko, you get question for the platform, please feel free. I just don't put an up there. If you look right now the screen, it is there. So 7740107250 is the number to call. Remember, if you call from abroad, don't forget for add the +44. So the lines are open, ladies and gentlemen. Feel free for call. In the meantime, Mr. Sankor, well said. So this level of optimism we Salone people let me expect, it soon begin for fade away. But the fading away, and Famulenge for forgive me because it's not like I'm playing the blame game. Or sometimes the blame game will get for play and for identify what the faults are so that we'll be able to find solutions out of them faults in the day. So we dey say Trade be responsible for waiting they happen today. But waiting they happen today, the leaders of today get responsibility for correct waiting be happen today because now they inherit. Okay, I think we'll get with first caller. Hold the line. Hello, caller.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, just hold the line for me 1 minute. Freddie, you dey read this caller?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, caller, just identify yourself. It seems like you're a first-time caller. Maybe I might be mistaken. But identify yourself, sir. Oh, you don't call before? Okay. If you can identify yourself.
From Leicester.
Oh, Lester. Okay. Always giving a good contribution in terms of economics and political, your direction. Okay. I remember you, sir. But for the benefit of them, one day when they hear you for the first time, just do an introduction of yourself, and the floor is all yours, sir.
This is Fode Mustafa from Leicester.
Yeah, go ahead, sir.
So that book where you don't did today, because this conversation, what is the morning? We don't tell Mr. Kuma about it sometimes. First of all, now left independence force. I always talk about this 21%, 22% of budget. Within the land school, when they say budget, they say the income and expenditure for a particular or a given time. In governance, now within a year, now you mean by the budget. So if then people had it tell me say that they spend 21% or 22% for education, I think see we the people which have this small thing will not allow this thing for to happen. It's everywhere around the world and go and talk about. It's not true because if you tell you say 55% in the spend and then 60% on wages or 59%, and they get for service debt about 25%. The money don't go how much? They don't go 85%. Now 15% of the money don't left. So we trying to pull this 22% of the budget. Every day they talk about this 22% of the budget. Budget now means say they go divide and force, say, okay, we don't service debt and pay wages. Now we can put about 100% again. No, that is not. Because now when they go outside of the country, they say, even Nigeria only spend 22%. Now we spend high. No, because those people present the budget itself when they say 100%. Now from that company, then they remove the things for education. And obviously, they even spend 3% to 4% on education on the budget. Please, I wonder because Cashbox is there on the finance aspect, when are there on media. Now they try for the talk about because this is how they go to school and they can't tell you the budget and divide and budget now one something they say now a whole. So if you say 22% and you don't pay first, so that means that if you put 22%, they don't go 60% for wages. They don't go 25% for services. They don't go 90 how much percent. So the money don't go. So this is what I want for me to put in a people that I say. We know what we are talking about. No, we try to straighten this argument. Let them come with the real figure of the budget. Let me say social expenditure, sports, finance. Hey, they didn't put them. Now they call budget. Cap and when they go school statistics, they draw the circle, then put the percentages there. This is what they call budget. No can't put something for say, okay, I don't put for all yonder, now I don't make again another hole. Then they do so. So now one thing our ladies take note of, because now you can tell point number one. Now no comes to the independence. Sorry for taking our time.
That's all right. Take your time, sir. Take your time, please.
This independence, the other thing back when you disturbing the Salone conversation, maybe we not center the independence problem on politics. Because most of the things them, even failures in governance, now because we put center around politics. This is the we talk about. When I know see the period will become the main issue about this against independence, not normal because of Sheikh Steve, Sheikh Steve because I'm a politician, because everything they put into politics. because the creators really not make independence because they can't give independence to the country where more than 90% of the people are illiterate. We will fail. This is why we failed.
Yeah.
Because when I just take an answer, you talk about the election, because you're a politician. But it was not the problem. The problem was the creator we started within a governance. They don't see if you can't live with a 95% illiteracy, how will we work? How will we go before? Now make them say we don't want independence. They can in between. If in a politician, you can't talk about election. But the main issue was because they want to let breaking the rule until the educational system expand. Because when they don't go, now people let they go, now their offices they for go work. So now we don't go and we don't get independence because the people we not have nothing, they don't take over governance. Now we don't fail. Now people like talk say, oh, that can people. No. Things started going a diagnosis from the day we they hand over give it because we don't get the infrastructure for rule ourselves. We don't get anything when they talk about governance in us. We not paramount thing that we get. When there are people and they go, they make rest, they get one bushel, those kind of things. We don't know what's in governance. So now they will fail. Check and Stephen can't in between because in a politician, he talks about election. But the main obstacle to independence is because people were illiterate. So now this is how we feature into this conversation in the area. Because I don't want to hear talk into mainstream. They just talk about politics. Anything that Salone will put into politics. Now we put about the main problem. This is not other problem. This is why we fail. We fail because the Anova give country to people to illiterate people. We're not having that. So that is they have any contribution to the conversation.
So just before you go, I believe say Mr. Sankoya, you clearly and I believe say he prepare for address the issue the way you address. The only problem I get with you, sir, is one kind of the platform for like we can talk this talk here 1-to-1, and I promise you say we they bring Ajibu Jalo, a man we don't in a government before, and we go discuss this particular issue the way you talk about because we already don't draw the script. And part of what you say they come up from the script. I wonder whether you go come back again and participate there, maybe either telephone or find a time where you go actually come for let we talk about this thing because you have to talk to, sir. Publicly, you have to come. You can't put cash box on the spot and others on the spot where you sit on a Leicester Saful, you just the ticklish business. Okay. I mean, if you say you're not economist, but you sound like a politician too. Okay, I just the jokes about many thanks. Lagi, Alfred, Chance. We'll get one more caller anyway. I will put them on hold. Caller, you get for call back in 1 or 2 minutes, or if you don't mind, I can keep you on hold because somebody just asked a lengthy question just now and the guest need to address that. So you want to stay on, please stay on whilst the guest they address the issue. Is that okay? Okay. Freddie, so you hear the last caller just now. You hear the questions then where he ask. I can not to enforce them. This 21-22% are something we really bother and where they say they spend towards the economic whatever, one sector education, free and quality. Mr. Sabin get issues with that with them. Because me see them differently, budget the appropriate now 100% of course, pass that. 22% of them they don't go education. But it sounds quite exorbitant when you consider other sector them. But maybe you understand that more than I do. Will you address the issue, please?
Thank you. I think, for the last 2 years or so, I've stopped analyzing Salone budget. I deliberately stop it because it don't make any sense whatsoever. I can say this openly. Salone budget don't make any sense anymore. When somebody they draw a budget, it kind of like they look at the environment, look outside the work, based on the needs of the people. Now in you the draw budget. Just they go draw budgets no more like when you eye close, you say now this, that this I feel for do, now here they do. Budgets get boku concept to again advantage and disadvantage. But the concept, like one of the key concepts, now the fact that it brings challenge because you kind of like they draw something up where you want to work towards. even though it get to be very, very realistic. It's not just like say, oh, me I close and go say I want 1 billion today. Salone budget, I refuse, I don't stop now, even when people like they send them to me, I can just delete them deliberately. Because it don't they reflect waiting budget supposed to be. Prince Coma, if I want to got a budget of you, I need to engage with you. What do you need for waiting are your medical needs? Waiting now you rent, waiting now you mortgage, waiting now the motor car you need. How is your lifestyle for make I know how to draw budget about you? The gentleman make a very crucial point there where the emphasis was like they don't tell you say the wage bill now 80% of we budget, right? Then it will tell you back say, 15% of that of we budget we they pay now for debt servicing. In other words, like the interest rate we they pay on we debt them. So straight away, that don't take you to 95%. So where is the 22%, 21% or 22% coming from? That tells you these guys are just making figures up. And for me, it don't say why they talk this talk like, but the unfortunate side where I always they see with we country, it is not just us. For me, I think one of the biggest failings now we country, now the parliament. I don't want to digress at all. But look how they debate this degree thing now we country right now. The parliamentarians, they don't even set up a committee for look into this thing. The Speaker of the House, even they take it so serious. But this whistleblowing with Dr. Lahai and the whistleblowing of the Africanist press, what is the difference? Why Parliament decide to set up a committee for investigate this? But they never set up a committee for investigate the Africanist press, wherein like we see check numbers, we see transaction reference numbers. They did not bother to set up a committee. Even at the time when an honorable member of parliament talked about give reference to it, they forced him to say it is his opinion. It wasn't a fact. But delicate today, we see where like just the greeting that they talk about this. So I go back to the budget where this Mr. Mustafa, I believe was his last name, where he talked about. When you look at the country, honestly, this government, I've never seen somebody go tell me, say, oh, well, I mean, now because you did against the government, the SLPP and stuff like I've never seen a government with a lie like this government. I don't see an army life. And now the fact that the parliament will sit by and watch then lie there, they kind of like resonate into the minds of people. They cannot challenge it. Just one or two, now they go challenge them. They go just come out. They cannot challenge it. This is not something where at times I can think about it as like, what's going on now with country? Like, I mean, this budget thing where Mr. Mustafa just mentioned, it is unbelievable that, we get a parliament, we get economists there inside there. Forget about being an economist safe. And the fact that you could not say the percentage, they work out. How can they say 80% of we budget? And almost now we budget now we country, like now $750 million. Even that, we don't generate enough money. Now only 500 million we generate as a country. So the rest of the $250 million pass we go and bigger around the world because we need to generate enough money. But these guys that they tell we say 22% it go into education. But look at how you go form like a budget for education. You not factor the number of picking them will require the free education. But yet still, they get the figure on the aid where we say now 2.6 million picking and they get access to the free and quality education. Okay. So
but Freddie, is that not a possibility? Say you already don't do your statistics, so you get your numbers. You get a population of 7 million or 8 million people, and
Yeah,
you don't look at the age, your value between the people where you get. And say 50% of your population now young people where you categorize between this age and this age. And
yeah.
between the ages that they as well, another 50% is between a school going age or something like that. Is that not a possibility?
No, no, of course, it is a possibility. So it goes back to the first thing where I say, if I want to do a budget of you, Prince Chroma, I need for check you lifestyle, or speaking you get we need for go school. Based on that, now so I draw your budget. So if them people here say 2.6 million picking a day, now we get access to the free and quality education. Let me say you say now 40 picking them for day now each classroom. They tell you almost classrooms them you need. Is that do you agree with me? So
Yeah, I do agree. But I make one quick point on the
yes,
same basis, because
please do.
if I do
Yes,
understand you and I hope I'm wrong,
yes.
is you're questioning this figure of the 2.6 million or whatever number of pupil they will say they get for
No,
go.
I'm not questioning it.
Okay.
I want to play the devils. I know they're just inflating it because of we mentality where we get the bigger mentality. But
Okay.
in this case, I am not questioning it. But it is the fact that let's play the devil's advocate and say the figure is correct.
Yeah.
But if the figure is correct, then it means we can't don't know how to do a budget at all. It go back to Mr. Mustafa point. You know why I say so? Because up till now, with the seat picking and the rights not gone. Classroom they no day. How did you draw the budget when you know say now 2.6 million picking a day? You know what's in the picking a day. They need schools. Did you build any school? They need chairs and bed and table. Did you build the chairs and table?
Okay, Fred, to that
Yes.
point there, something they come up because we get for discuss the president in Independence Day speech to the people.
Yeah.
And the reason why I jump inside again, because you ask a question, did you build schools? Did you build infrastructures relating to this? And from waiting I see from the president in speech, the answer is a big fat YES. Where I go on for let you discuss as well. I make a pause you there. But there's a second part to the last caller in your observation.
Yeah.
But we already get one caller online. We get a few callers there. But let me just take this because he's been waiting for a while.
Okay.
Yes, caller, if you can introduce yourself and go straight to the point, please.
Those folks are call from London is no. Anyway, like I understand what in Cashbox and everybody will not say so, yeah. Forget about you say them and now, don't talk about it now. Because people who come for us them, they don't make mistake. Can you continue seeing so that grace me about? Some other person will ask.
Brilliant retrospect, and Fox. Yes, I agree with you.
The point I make here is, if you can't say you fix the problem, can't fix the problem. I'm not saying you totally fix all the total problem, but can do some percentage analysis. Because when governments want to talk, for me, succeed, you talk about percentage, 99 and success. I mean, 80% of the people unemployed, we create an employment for 50%. At least you don't begin move Salone forward. You understand there? And that independence, how they begin move. I mean, 80% of the people who don't get housing, we create 70% or 40% or 50%. So the next government will come now, the line of the that's how they progress. But you see, this government, we cancel. I don't want to talk about the one that we don't pass. Because Salone gladly say we get independence. We for gladly. The cow cash box say we forget the vision and focus. And the focus and the lead to the destiny we want. The independence we don't get, that means say we are a people, we're united, we move forward, we create an environment in which we live together. But right now, not even if we live together. Tribalism, the man don't preach tribalism, private divide force. The man they lie. You look at the constitution, we are in democratic government. The man they violate the constitution with reckless abandonment. There is intimidation, there is harassment, there is killing. These are not the tenets of democracy. Don't be saying around totalitarian state we need. But this is not democracy we need. Call me to humanity for waiting. We don't need all that in the need. We don't need for make the man they lie. There is continuous lying. So how we go gladly for this kind of independence but when they lie about the democracy not the work at all. People don't get freedom of speech. That's why it's happening. People that so lie and lie and lie. I don't know if for start with these guys. The guys just lie. Instead of we move forward, we go bien. And appear we don't go so. So the next government will come. Now, what it says, not to what they criticize, but I can't tell you about what other people do. You tell me, say you can't fix the problem, come and fix the problem first. Now, statistics. If matter be okay, we go to 0, maybe we want to 30 or 40 or 50. The next government when they come, we go to 50%. I don't catch we talk about. It's an analysis. Now, as a government, as an independent country, cannot boast of constant electricity, disgraceful. Cannot boast of water supply, disgraceful. Cannot boast of a proper infrastructural development, is disgraceful. The man they're gonna even now, I get for other people in charge. The man they even gonna parliament, right to parliament. Say it don't secure funds for building Lunge Bridge. We for link towns and cities. But that Lunge the cut peripheral model. Yeah, the Lunge they turn to a city because as long as you don't build that bridge, you don't build that linkage. People that they get money for go begin invest at Lunge. No, and not build all that stuff. So like I cancel my mama yapon. So dangerous development. So lie. It's also lie. Like independence. We've been ready for that independence. So like thank you.
Yeah, Fox, just before you go and Alfred address what you just say, how you spend independent today, and of course you get huge fumble in Sierra Leone. Waiting at the sentiment back home, because I'm sure say there's been some conversation back and forth. Give international viewer them some aspect of waiting they happen at the ground, as per how you talk to fumble them.
Yeah, sorry, if you look at this kind of independence, this independence is the worst because of the type of government we get. It is better for people to forget respect for institution, respect for what you say and they can do democracy. I don't say politician and they lie. That's not what I mean. But the lie, it don't smell, it is stink. To the point that the people now they don't see the lie. So the sentiment back home is there is economic difficulty, economic hardship. Where any phone call we pick on a so big. They don't consider things.
Okay.
And gone. Not two phone call we pick. Anybody now, intelligent people say will not be the big.
Okay.
We don't want to call them. They're beggars now. They're turned beggars because the economy know they move like I for move. The man built in falsehood. The man is not even correct to himself. So me today, if I look at a retrospective where they reflect, we miss also with my family. I remember the people they kill. The government's going to kill the people in Apademba. The government's going to kill the people in McKinney. And democracy means engagement. America did they take systems to Bush. Bush was like, they throw Sus to so security not buy up. They don't throw egg to presidents and then they do that. But it's the people that say, no, not a good generator. There should be a consensus bargaining, consensus negotiation. To make una take or not take her, we're going to kill the people in
Absolutely.
Office.
Yeah.
We're going to after I don't beat the people, there is human rights abuse, the security forces are involved. So this one that it was. That make you see if you look at the one on Facebook, everybody just quiet.
Yeah, Fox.
You don't degenerate instead of improve, it degenerates. So the boss that is like a totalitarian state, a kind of dictator. The man that they picking and the cry, see the teacher and the cry, see the one salary increase. Can you imagine the arrest the man that take out the go to the jail for waiting? Can't go to sell for waiting.
Okay, Mr. Fox. Mr. Fox, just for the benefit of time, because I know say the stories are abounding, just like you say. Well spoken, well said. The world across don't hear you and thousands more get for hear you, but I think well said and many thanks. We go put this thing to Alfred for let he share a perspective of what you just talk about. But just before we do that, I just want to awaken the people and sentiment and emotion again about we they talk about Salone 61-year independence. And at the time of independence, the optimism behind, despite there were divisions, but we'll be hoping the gap will be bridged. But 61 years on, here we are. Here's the tip once more. Right, ladies and gentlemen, today is the 27th of April, just a kind reminder. And Sierra Leone, today they celebrate 61 years of independence. We've come a long way. And as a people, we've been through trials and tribulations. We've survived the worst. Probably the worst is yet to come, but we've seen civil strife. Thousands and thousands of our compatriots killed. Limbs were hacked. Just for let we enjoy some benefit of democracy. So we people and go get respite. But today, here we are, and this is the discussion where we get. Part of that video they will wanna see. Part of the structure that they will wanna see, like Victoria Park, where they talk about, first of all, me elementary school or primary school, as we can call it in Sierra Leone, a Cathedral Boys School. I go Holy Trinity School, from there Cathedral Boys School. So that park there, we were there all of the time. They run around. There were fountains. We they go admire. Fountain, when a simple thing now. What are they come on as something hot? We they go to have they just they watch and they collect. We been get a merry-go-round, a playground for children them. So Cathedral School and fence, which was an iron fence, you team up right now the school place, you see the fence, you see the merry-go-round, the seesaw, and the up and down and hard and column. And we go there and go enjoy ourselves. So I saw it. I saw it with my own eyes. So sometimes I do get emotional. But all of that gone. Gone. That even the space them when them be make, kusa people and go get respite. Like even when I be not big, election time, the old people they get some south side and can go sit down, whether not draft or Ludo 9 and they play. Them places they've been there, public places, they've sold them all. No sign, no day for let people and go recreate. Freddie, you are the guest here today. You are a very famous man. And you just hear the last caller, Fox, Mr. Fox. What he said, in my opinion, is not very far away from the fact. It is true on reflection. The mood today in a Salone is dampened. And this is Independence Day. Reflect back 61 years ago. Now make we play the tape, see the jubilation, see the hope, the optimism for the future. People and them picking them. But 61 years on, here we are. Please elaborate. I think so we don't get with second guest don't join. Freddie, go ahead, please.
Thank you. You know, in the first part of that audio day, and welcome, Mr. Wise, maybe you will. The first part of that very audio day where you talk about the way you play earlier, it says something. It says anything where you want, the commentator said anything where you want from Freetown can be bought. Can you say that today in the current Sierra Leone? The guy clearly said that. Somebody go say, oh, well, the population at the time was tiny. Okay, I agree. But you know one thing where people in the field for realize, people now then they make an economic goal. I remember a few years ago, you know, I had an argument with one of my cousin. I tell him, say, who side China sit down? Billions of people, 1.4 billion people, America, they dominate the economic space in the world. People are the one that where they make an economic growth. You know, Bridge Coma, the country where Mr. Fox they talk. I mean, by the way, very, very clever guy, Salone. Very clever guy. You know, when you look at we country delicate today, the very reason we make, if we talk about like the dictatorship, you know, the one-party state, the capturing of institutions, you know, like everything where for make we country. Remember, the world don't move. Like, would have been the talk about, even 10 years ago, would have been the talk about ESG. Like, you get country then this, I mean, why make like Russia? You see companies them, they come out from Russia. Rightly or wrongly, I do not want to go into that debate. But the fact that people just look at ESG, would have been the talk about ESG 10 years ago. Nobody talk about ESG 10 years ago. In other words, ESG means for like environmental, social, and governance. So in other words, people that invest or go any side for go invest, they must see these three things that they exist in your country. The environmental issues, the social issues, like the governance issues. Let me not even talk about the environmental issues now we country. We didn't use that for drag. You know, like the thing where I can ask me about Salone, when you look at the COVID situation, you look at, like, let me say Russia and Ukraine war. They blame, instead of we look at opportunities. For every problem, there is like opportunities out there. Let me get the typical example. When they talk about Ukraine and Russia war, like the fossil fuel is being a problem, like problem right now, not the world. Okay, Salone, we get 9 months of sun, 9 months of sun. Can we attract like companies that will make solar system? Can we think outside the box and say, okay, what can we do for attract companies? Like as I talk to you right now, China, they nearly lockdown. They're about for lockdown. But you see, these are the painful things. When you look at Guinea, when they overthrow, and the first time I say 80% of the iron ore where China they import, they come up from Guinea. But then they tell we say 27% of the world's production now from China. 27% of the world's production now from China. But the rutile where China they use for produce iron them and all that thing and they comes from a country.
We make them get 27% of the production rate, not the entire world.
Yes.
For 80% of the material they come out elsewhere,
Thank
yet
you.
they don't get that production capacity.
Yes,
Well
they do
said.
not have that production.
Well said, Freddie. Well said, Freddie. We don't get with second guest, we don't join. But before I come to Ram, I get a caller we don't stay long on the line. Let me just hear you in perspective. Probably get a question for Una or you want to say something, and then we'll go straight to Mr. Wise. Caller, are you still on the line, please?
Yes, please. Yes, please.
I'm on the line, but I'm getting difficulty with the sound a little. The volume is a little bit down. So I don't know. I did get you, but
Wait, Fred, did you hear Fred? Yeah, hold the line, caller.
Yeah, the volume, because I get call where they come at. I decline the call. Then from then I get this abnormality. Yeah, so I don't know what's at the fall.
Mr. Wise, just
I was Alfred was when Alfred was speaking. I be the list. I be the area and loud and clear. But since I declined that call with the kind inside, then I know you will get and clear again. So I don't know waiting for the way I go able get.
Mr. Wise, you hear me, sir?
Huh?
Okay, you hear me?
I hear you, but it's like you are from you. I'm not getting you clear.
Let me give you one quick advice with the small way you hear me. So, waiting can normally happen. I make it not advisable for use the same gadget who they use most likely with phone.
I love being in here, man. Okay, let me try once more. I'll see how I go do them because the voice is like from a distance. Then I'm not.
Come on, I just
literally I'm not getting nothing. So let me see. I go then I come back. I will go off then I come back. Let me see.
Exactly. Thank you very much. Caller, will you introduce yourself, please, and who say you call from? And the floor is all yours.
Yes, thank you very much, Prince. Thank you.
Yeah.
Amin Ahmed, they call from London, actually.
Okay.
Yes, please. Yes, this I can follow you long ago. Of course, I can follow Cashbox as well. We've got private chats at times, and for telling thank you for coming onto the program.
So we have a fan. We have a fan of ours calling.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Ahmed. Go on, please.
There is no day I can miss your program. Actually, of Cashbox, I'm a man. I follow your program. We can talk, but we never meet before. Actually, no. We just get some conversation just about the country. I can see the passion when I get. I can see the passion where you get. At one time when you go back for debunk, when people talking about the bridges and stuff, I really admire you on that, and I see all the skeleton we try for layout for the layman for understand exactly what they go on.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for your kind sense.
And indeed, you're right, you fast because when you talk of those bridges, I was just amazed because now that I'm really ferry bridge, I didn't mean my come on, and these are the places where me said grew up as a child when I come up from Freetown Day, like in the So you're right, perfectly right, and. Except for other people, for one reason or the other way, they're not going for agree with you on this. But it's not about politics, People can class in any way about the politics or wherever you belong. But me, and I know few other guys who will follow now, we see the passion and exactly how I want Salone for becomes. Me, I'm not an economist anyway. I read economics, but I'm not like as Fred as he is now. Because he's on the financial side, I'm a science student, and basically, I'm a graduate of agriculture. So, we're not talking about the then actually. We grow in Freetown, we see maybe at that level how things were, but we're talking about the now and exactly what they go on now. What they go on now, Mr. Prince, is unprecedented actually. I think Alfred can testify that because day in, day out in making we do there in try for analyze economically and try for set a pace as to the countries that we all graduate together. I mean, from independence and how far they don't progress and how how we don't retrogress. We far lacking behind for one reason or the other. So we can agree maybe the people who found this independence and stuff, they were not trying to put things in order so that we can build from there. But then they've gone. But now when we talk about this present situation now, we are now. Because these guys, they can then lay so many things, a very romantic agenda that they have, which we all fall for, except for some of us. Because for me, I have my own perspective. I have, the way I look at things. When somebody they talk, and when I degrade you, I dey look at you, you behavior. Of course, me read education, so I know we.
So Ahmed, for the benefit of time, brother, I think I could get for bring you come back on another time because you get so much for say. But for the benefit of time, give us this perspective of yours where you talk about. What do you think about independence? Yesterday, today, and Usawi Deso. What do you think, sir?
Well, actually, I just want to agree with there's a caller that makes sense of what independence is all about. Like when actually, like when the analysis when I make, how in the first place, the time when we get the independence, it was not right. And then when Sheki pick it from there and politicize it, and like I agree with that caller actually. Maybe like he said only Sheki make it in a political form, but then we are not in the right footing, which means the educational aspects of it as to how do we grow from when these guys they leave. So we that therefore step in, how we will manage these offices. That was where the problem lies from that start. But then again, because these people that wanted this independence, they get an agenda just to hold into certain things, and that's what we see today. And the same things keep repeating because these are the set of people that come from the same place before by then, and then they want to hold into this thing, and then therefore say, "Oh, we want to gain independence." But then, are we in the right footing by then? No. That was the problem. When you compare our own those days, and then look at Singapore, Malaysia, those other countries, because then at least I think they learn something. They learn something from these people before they leave. So this is why today they invest into entrepreneurship. They go into apprenticeship. So they learn a lot. But we in Sierra Leone, even the educational system, we just want into the bookish system, the bookish way of life. That's why we get a degree, but degree of engineering. We are the engineers. So these are the things. Somebody you can study, you go to America, but we are the practical stuff of it. This is what we lack. This is what we lack. But Prince, like I said, this thing has to change. Before the 6334 system came into play, when we read all of this, the system, and then once the system is changed, it has an aim and objective in terms of education. We go back to Tanzania, Nyerere's theory in education, that we should build up what we call education for complete living. In a sense, let us train people that if you can weave a basket, you can make something so that you can become a tailor. That's based on this. This is why they introduce this system, so that nobody will become a dropout. Even though if you are not cognitively inclined, you can go back to somewhere else and a sector whereby you can become a masoner, you can become a builder, you can become a refrigerator. So this is why they set up these institutions. But are they credible today? No, because everybody wants to go to the valley. We have some friends that they drop from school and then go back to trade center and become engineer, electrical. But these guys are existing. In fact, they are more than us that go to university and get a degree. So, but this thing, it doesn't continue. Based on the
Mr. Ahmed. Now this now the point why they say, because always they say it makes so much sense, but this is for an entire program, brother. Because the thing you talk is a big deal. If you understand what I mean, and I don't mean for coachy, brother, because it makes so much sense to me that the guests in the listen, even myself the listen, and it's a kind of learning curve for me. But finally, if you can end your perspective, probably a question or the same sentiment where you want to express.
I got a question to ask. Let me just ask my brother, the Alfred. Now, what's the way forward financially? Now, we don't see a lot of things coming out, based on the system and how they monitor the system. Because today we talk of money, how we manage people, and you can't manage people without finance. So now, as we receive all of the resources, like all these cash box, they analyze what we get now. Now, what's the way forward? How can these guys and people like you guys in the social media, of course you have ideas, how you can be able to transform this country today, so that all of these huge financial things, all of these products that we have, then the people, they start to get the people now start to see the reality of this. So how do we turn around this page? Rather than, we start, saying, where shall we come? It's not that much now. Now, where are we heading to now? So we question, please, Prince,
yes,
and Alfred. So how do we turn things? How can all of these institutions be, organized so that the people will see the need for us to become to be Sierra Leoneans? This is a question.
I think that's a very good question, and that question they go to Alfred, and Alfred will answer that question there. But we get the second guest. But I assure you, Ahmed, your perspective tonight is spot on. Instead of with a belabor on the past, we need for focus on the future. But then, if we don't understand the past, Ahmed, the reason why we can bring up the past is because we understand the now. We need to understand where we are coming from, by the way, and also we're able for fair solution. But you've made your point, and I want to let Alfred all in thoughts right there. How can we turn things around economically? We go benefit with people, and in other words, change the trajectory where the country they go. In other words, there will be some dividend where the people and go benefit from. Thank you so much, Ahmed.
Thank you very much. At any time I'm available, I follow you. I'm one of your great fans. And of course, the Cash Works, I'm a man at the follow as well. Because when it comes to Sierra Leone issues, some of us, we are very, very, very...
Thank you very much, and I appreciate your kind sentiment. I will save your number now, and I will be in touch soon. And probably we can organize something because you seem to be very spirited and full of your knowledge. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, today is the 27th of April, 2022. Is a very special day in many respects because we celebrate the 61st anniversary of Sierra Leone independence, which is what we are talking about. And for help we for understand where we are, of course, we don't go deep into the program. So another guest will be supposed to be with me from the beginning, just don't join we. I will give him the opportunity. I mean, most of you may know him, but for Una we no Sabiam, I will give him the opportunity for him to introduce himself and provide a perspective of these 61 years then and now. Wilfred.
Yeah, first of all, with the hardship they go on at the country, I know say the people of Sierra Leone are resilient because the hardship so immense that we not go able to describe them how we there. But I would like also to use this opportunity to wish them happy Independence Day of 61 years, and also for the media empire giving me opportunity for on how the things that would happen for on how the things that they happen we not good and the one that we good as well. So as I say, I hope so that they give me clear. Yeah, so as I say, this kind of opportunity,
Wilfred,
I'm very sorry because I was having engagement. We were having invitation to State House. I was at State House, for witness this occasion because I can always say, not the president that calls me. This is a national call. Now Independence Day, they invite me, and I honor that invitation day. So now one of them things then they be make an able go there. I know people make and quick. Then the lights, the electricity problem at Freetown, my brother, is immense. It takes me a lot for Lago able connect to this particular program because I don't get the Aberdeen, I don't go for charge all throughout before 11:30 lights no come. It's waiting with 61 years. We lifespan as Australian is 45. We life expectancy 45 years. So if a country don't for 61 good years cannot provide the basic amenities up to 25% of its populace, it's a disgrace to humanity. It's not part of civilization, and nobody is going to shut we down from saying the reality. Because a country as a Sierra Leone, we need for say the truth. Not so we all can be both. Say, okay, because then go give this, or because you go under, go say the truth. Oh God. We are here to represent the general populace. Sierra Leone is like retrogressing. There is nothing to write home about. This I will tell you. I will also want to say this to the Australian populace. This is a systemic problem. It's a problem since independence. It's not a...
Okay. Wilfred, you audio they do very bad. But waiting, I go advise for let you do if you hear me. you can forget about the video and just do the audio, because the video, they eat a lot of your data, and probably the audio will be better because I think people are familiar with your voice. And you've come as no surprise because you don't begin a fire from all cylinder at the opening.
Yeah, I should have really loved to express what the Sierra Union are feeling. So when this internet they do like they do so, it really they hurts me, you know. But anyway, I don't know if you hear me still. I can able say what I want to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, so as I say, the Sierra Leonean people, them, we they represent them, the voiceless people, them, the mami with the Kubola, the mami with the Cambia, the one with the Putlok or BND, they are suffering. You know, so if we as some small amount of people will not reach even 0.1% go today, they go celebrate, you know, independence in a state house. How many children are sleeping without a meal? How many mama then they go to hospital where they die because of they not get the rightful treatment? I'm not happy, and because of that, I was not happy till I was not, you know, having the spirit to pick up a food there, because I think say some people and they go out without 1 or 2 meal when a square meal a day. A country we're not serious of any agricultural system, it's disheartening, because with all waiting and they say a country that cannot feed itself, it's a big problem, my brother. And let me tell you one thing. I want to let you take this thing into cognizance as well. Lunge, I don't spend most of my time in Podloko district. As a country, we are using ferry up the age of 45 to 50 years old. If you recall, after that ferry ram away for them inside a particular watade, I go make some interview. I swear to God, you know, anything can happen with that ferry at any given time. Because one of the things that way I don't notice there now, that ram there, if it be hang at that particular ferry, there is a likelihood for that ferry actually sink inside the water. So we therefore also put that into cognizance, and I go and let you work on that, say that ferry where they go between Freetown to Lunge, na a death trap. Na a death trap. So we therefore also push that. You therefore think about the human rights abuses that really happen in this country. A teacher we go talk then this day was arrested. Mohamed Kamarimba still in a cell. You know, the former administration was bad with some certain things, but honestly, they were not as bad as, you know, imprison, you know, opposition leader till the point of death. Mr. Koma, are you hearing me?
Yeah.
Loud and clear, brother. Carry on with the whole world. They hear you. Please carry on.
Okay. So the system, I will not tell you the system that was in there before was like paradise. No, it was not indeed like paradise. But I'm not going able to recall when Anes by Coromado lock an opposition person for the point of death. We don't care. The journalists don't seem to care about the health of Mohamed Kamarimba. They are ignoring that. And waiting me to try to tell the general populace, Mohamed Kamarimba, if anything happened to him inside under, we as opposition, we will not agree, because we believe, say, the lives of Mohamed Kamarimba important to we. So it's not about, like what you try for, say, the country should be transformed. The politicians that have been there for too while, we they ignore the better people in a Salone where we know, say, they get a proofing track record that can prove everything. I can always say, when you think about presidency, we therefore check your track record, what you don't do for yourself, what you don't do for your family, and what you don't do for your country first. And they always talk this. They invited us today at the State House. I went, for let nobody no feel to say about that, because that was a national call. I witnessed the occasion, but I was not happy with things that are happening outside. Because we no go there, we get food them, then picking it in a street, you know, they. So, you know, we don't put this thing. This is not about transforming the people of Sierra Leone. This is about transforming party picking. Then picking them. You can recall the last administration. Let me put this clear now. Where you watch the last administration, you get big man then picking them, and then family member, the way they go to Ghana for hospital, where because of we not get the proper medical system. My brother, now if you go to Ward 6, which I sometimes visit, with then terminal illnesses there, I don't talk that time without number. Dialysis machine safe not in a corner. Now what 6 for patients then. So these are all of the things that we are saying. Sierra Leone don't bad than any other time before. We know say actually there is economic problem, gets a very strong difficulty of the world. Financial problem from the COVID to Russia, but Ghana gets 12 measure the way it take for just pushing the financial situation. One, if I can name them, if you can permit me. One, no minister, no they go with in full salary again. You they give 30% of your salary back, they return to the consolidated fund. Two, no minister or government official they drive brand new motorcar, Toyota Prado as they call it, or SUV, say after 2023. They will cut down all conferences and all meetings or seminars, which have saved Ghana 650 million Ghana cedis. You understand me? These are some of the measures that Ghana have taken. We get a better economy than we. But what our government have done towards that for pushing that problem they will go through, so Mr. Koroma, things are very, very, very difficult in Sierra Leone. You no go feel until you did it. Now you they change a dollar for 1,350,000 leons. That was 2 weeks ago when I changed $100. So every day this inflation they increase. So the more that thing that inflation go that way, when you go buy your commodity na the international market, you get for get a foreign currency, what we call forex. That money they get for be converted to the dollar back. Then they make the price and don't also increase way. Literally, the average Sierra Leonean is not living by $1 a day, and you get many houses that win up Sunday to Sunday no more than they cook. Mr. Koroma, to be honest, things are difficult in Sierra Leone. As I used to say, commercial sex workers, or how you call them, I not ever see them na the history of Salone like how they see them also. Young girls get hands of our girls. How then they don't reflect in them picking their life. You need to see that they happen. Underage girls are on the streets. They are paramulating everywhere for survival. Sometimes you want to blame them, but how will you blame them when things difficult like I difficult so? So the country, it's sad. You not go able to explain. Oh my God, una dey hear me?
Yeah.
The country, you not go able to explain all the things the way they happen. Me na person when an average Sierra Leonean, everything done difficult. Market where you go there now with 50,000, you not go able to do nothing there. If you don't get that kind of money, then they pay you that kind of money. We still teacher and they pay 1 point something million and then they pay them. Whilst you get one government worker where you take in salary, you don't able to pay 200 teachers then. Driving a brand new SUV that costs thousands of dollars. So I don't know how we go, my brother. We voted for change, or some people voted for change, but we don't see where the change is going. But people are like we be they criticize when necessary. But Mr. Koroma, leadership matters. And if Sierra Leonean, whether you get for be with opposition back safe, I'm representing the National Grand Coalition. If we don't try for pick leaders them way, no issues. We don't be administrator them for a long period of time. When you look them track record in Sierra Leone, they are stainless. If we say we pick based on partisan, based on region, then the country will be the same. No changes will be. Sierra Leonean for land now say, we for pick people not to based on tribe, not to based on religion. Now what you are capable of doing for the people of Sierra Leone. Things are desperate in Sierra Leone. And this is a national security concern. Because outside people are angry. Millions of people and they go without a meal to bed, then a national security issue. So I don't know if the time therefore permits me, but I'm still there around, my brother. Last stop the force.
Thank you very much, Cashbox. I just watch your face and no say something wrong, but I'm back on the live stream. What I've been to say is, Brother Wilfred, many thanks, and it's good for having you on the program. And your voice is a very, very powerful voice in many respects. I am sure you will have been told you're a powerful orator. But it's not about only being a powerful orator, but the condiments that will make you or a person being a powerful orator. That's exactly what you are. Fambulem, we are outlining Sierra Leone at 61. And with us here today, we get Mr. Alfred Sanko Sr., aka Cashbox. It's a global brand. And we get brother Wilfred Wise of the NGC. Don't make it clear already. He's also a very powerful speaker where Sabi for articulate the issues. And when he speak, he doesn't sit on the fence. He doesn't shoot from the hip. He shoots from the lip. And I want to say thank you to Ona Altu today. And something we Ona Altu mentioned, we want fast forward to the now because we can't just focus on the then. So let's focus on the now. But you see, for come to the now, like I say, we get for develop that trend so can come day. And when both don't develop that perspective there for let we come right there. And where are we, Mr. Sanko? We want to come straight to waiting the president say on Sierra Leone's 61-year anniversary. And that therefore say, with waiting we just don't talk about then, to waiting the president say now. So, Mr. Sanko, I put this to you. Whilst it is true that there is a huge economic burden at the world now as we speak, I equally believe, say, you go agree with me when I say this economic burden, not to now it start. It started some time ago. And I sure say you get perspective on that as well. Can we hear you, please?
Thank you, Prince Goma. I wish Mr. Wise been still there around because I would just be one kind of like, where they talk and not be one even make it stop because, we've been saying these things over and over again. The only thing we sent him, maybe sent him if he rejoin, we I go try for kind of like talk about where he can. Now the fact that, Prince Goma, until we get this culture of boycotting, politicians then go continue for use we as shield to the mess. And I will say this when it comes back, because you see, going to State House to have it do genuinely in a nationalistic point of view, but trust me, this mess up government that we're complaining about would use it to their advantage. They would use it to their advantage and go to the international community and say, look at us. We're very accommodating. But inside, Camaremba is being locked up. If Mr. Wise can fight for Camaremba, it's by him boycotting and people of influence boycotting this government so they can be exposed of their mess. We should not condone these people. We shouldn't, because even though it go do genuinely for the sake of Salone, like where he go there, he say, you know what, then they share food, you know, even take. Why? Because in the member say there are millions out there will not eat it. But you know what? SLPP go use them, take picture of them, make a video of them, and send them to the international community. And the international community will be buying into these things. But anyway, maybe when it comes back, I will say it. But you see, Mr. Ahmed asked a question, say, and I think this is where it leads us, where you ask me the question, say, how about now the economic situation? It has always been around and all internet day. As I say, for me, the Ukraine war, be it COVID, be it the Ukraine war or Russia war, it not for affect Salone at all. Somebody go tell me, say, oh, what rubbish are you talking about? Okay, let me maybe I'll take it back. Let me say it affects Salone short term. But the opportunities them where this Ukraine and Russia war can bring to Salone, or where COVID can bring to Salone, is immense. It's immense. You know, Mr. Ahmed asked a question, say, how can we turn this economic mess road pencil? It is very, very simple. I'll tell you what, Prince Kroma, for change Salone, it is damn simple. You know, there is no way any country they grow. And with waiting we get, it is just the basic things that needs to be in place. You cannot capture the parliament and expect investors them forget appetite for going to your country. You cannot capture the judiciary you expect investors them for going to your country. When they lost their money, or if somebody thief their money, where do they find justice from? You cannot be locking up Kamaremba. Again, I talk about the thing about ESG. The investors look into these things big time. The ESG stands for environmental, social, and governance. Where are all these things now, Salone? You go look Salone, you say, oh, there is proper environmental atmosphere where, like issues that when they adhere to. Will you see Salone and say, oh, you know what? Then the court stick them every day. Then they even, like recently, they sell lands there now where even the president admits, say, oh, it is beyond the red zone. Will you see Salone as being environmentally friendly? If you talk about the social, oh, don't even go there. Like waiting with brother, they talk like prostitution, drugs is on the rise now the country. Why? Because of hardship. Look at the governance structure now in country. Can you look, Salone, and say this is a place to invest? The basic things and all these things, it don't take rocket science. Again, like waiting, Mr. Wise, the top Jishno, it takes leadership. Who not go get the gumption for saying, you know what? It is about time I forget about you do me, I do you. You knock me, I knock you. Who not go get this mind we go come with a leadership skill for the basic thing where Salone need for transform we economy. It is the political stability. And when I say political stability, we get to be seen as politically stable. Can we, who side in a commot? How people cannot speak up. You see, a guy called Michael Mansare, Nabo, talk say, oh, now the last president, now MB build this, waiting and do. They lock him up. They say because of Panadol. It keep Panadol illegal. Are you serious? Then you expect Salone for better? Then, this is the thing. It comes back to the point where they make Naya. When China they on lockdown, the West, everywhere be locked down. Africa, we get low COVID cases them, very low. The world been a look for USAI for invest their money. The world been a look for like a productive nation. Africa, we get the youngest population in the world. With population is as close to China. I think China get 1.4 billion. In fact, it even reduce. We get 1.3 billion, where I believe say if they go count and find, we don't even beat China. America were there, they had like what? $2 trillion of excess savings. They were looking for USAI for go invest. And you know what? The example why I give additional to Guinea. Before that, what happened? When China slowed down, China locked down, Guinea could not export their rutile to China.
Yeah, but Alfred, let me put this to you.
Yes.
I think most of us get what you say, but the bottom line is the entire world is going through some economic burden, and we as a donor economy, and I guess you say, well, we should try to do well, which we should, but the bottom line is the entire world they go through this economic difficulty as at this particular time, and we not donor economy country.
No,
so therefore we are affected. Not so, sir.
No, I thought, in fact, that word donor economy now can drive me nuts.
No, we agree with that. We are not saying, not
Yeah.
Fred,
Yeah.
not because we mentioned donor economy. Not everyone. If he left with me today, handouts, etc., we kick them out.
Yeah.
We use waiting we get for use them as a bargain or barter. You can't buy waiting again, just like the Russians are doing now.
Yeah.
So I'm doing that. But
Yeah.
I'm saying the real situation, let's be altruistic, my brother.
Yeah.
This is the situation that we face now. And
Yeah.
that's what I want to let you deal with. So the entire world, they go through that. How about us?
I do not agree. I do not agree it's the entire world. And if you go back to what I said earlier, it is not the entire world. In fact, if you look at to every situation, I mean, there is this thing in finance where, like, it's all about sensitivity. They call them beta. But let's don't go into it. It is how sensitive, like, for instance, Prince Kroma, like, Me like me cassava leaf. You like you jollof rice. If cassava leaf go up, it affects me more past how it affect you. In other words, I am more sensitive to cassava leaf past you. Now, let me go now to Salone or Africa situation. If we the talk say the entire world is going through this, I do not agree. The entire world is not going through this mess. In fact, as I talk to you right now, you know, when you look at Africa, tell me how sensitive Africa is to the Ukraine and Russia war. You can tell me, say, oh, we depend on the oil and all that thing.
No, that's not. I could speak to that, Freddie.
Yeah.
But I want to take you on one point.
Yeah.
You are still saying that the entire world they go through economic difficulties, that the
No.
entire global supply chain has not been disrupted, that food prices are not going up as a consequence of something. Is that what you're saying?
No. What I'm saying here is, I mean, if I generalize them, if you want to make a go with what you they say, okay, let me say yes, the entire world to go through it. But the question where I say the reason why I do not believe it is the entire world that is going through it, it is because Africa do not want to take advantage of this situation where they happen. You know, now Salone like you say, Mambu Tuma watch. It is the world we are living in. Africa, for don't take advantage of COVID, first of all, we fail. We went on.
How briefly? I want to agree with you, but I don't understand how.
Thank you. So again, I give the example. Investors then are people them way they don't like for make them money they idle. In fact, sometimes if you get too much cash, they say you cash they become a liability to you. In America, just America alone during COVID, they say there was excess cash of $2 trillion. Investors were looking for somewhere for make them go put their money. Africa, almost case, when I've been listening to one documentary, we only had about 70 deaths of COVID cases. Now, Salone. You know, then we get all them thing there where China, because they're locked down, China now they use for produce, now they use for become productive. Why we don't create this conducive atmosphere where we get people and go invest in our country? Why we don't go get like chocolate factory them for men to go build factory in a Salone? Why iron? Okay, typical example, iron rod where we consume a lot in a Salone. I believe iron ore now they use for make iron rod. The same way China they on lockdown. 2 years, I will say 2 years. The West, China, they were struggling. The reason, and this is what I always say to people, the reason why the world they like how we did so now Africa cause them. Because
we get Wilfred back.
Yeah,
and I will go to Wilfred briefly, but just for come back to you.
Yeah.
I mean, you optimism sound really ideal because then you get for understand the structure of the world. It's not like as simple, as you kind of put say China outside and they go to for go do all them production there, instead of get problem in the under lockdown. So automatically things will have switched on to Africa. And I know they say we'll not for take advantage of that, but unfortunately the structure which we operate under, and the same thing they happen now. China and Russia under this crisis, they one side, and the West is against them. But they're not moving their factories, here to Africa for go develop them. And you therefore ask yourself why.
No,
but we go come to that.
Just to clarify that very quickly, I am not saying it would happen overnight. But for 2 years, tell me, for that 2 years, they were COVID, they kind of like ravaged the world. Did we even manage for attract one?
Okay, I go answer that question right now. You see, Naimeka say your proposition sound really ideal. So first of all, if you be not look at all the world indices the way they put, the world body the way they define the structure then that's the IMF, the Bretton Woods, the World Bank, and what have you, we can make some conspiratorial tendency them tend for develop, which is Africa for be suffer the most. That projection was already made. Unfortunately, it turned out not for me.
They said that because Africa is donor dependent. They said that because Africa is donor dependent. If Africa was productive, make itself useful, and then like
but you they say if they were, but you mean they talk about capitalizing on the situation on which they had already been prejudged.
Of course, but because now we make them prejudge with that way. Because if you take Kamarema, you lock them up, kill confidence in the country, how do you attract these people?
Okay, that's one aspect. But in terms of the global thing we talk about, that's like a minute drop in the ocean. I know it's serious when it comes to us.
I totally disagree.
We get for understand world structure. Let me go to Wilfred. Let me go to Wilfred. Wilfred, thank you very much for being patient while me and my younger brother, you're having this back and forth, which is good anyways, healthy. We have to disagree for agree. That's how we learn. But we have to keep it civil. Wilfred, you've been saying many things, and even Alfred being get something for say to you, been wait for that you come back. So I wonder I need for getting the chance if you still remember what you be addressed to Wilfred. Still remember?
Yes, I do. Wilfred, you make the point where you say go to State House, add food and all that thing and they. But I get one thing where I always they believe say, Africa or Salone to be specific, we need for kind of like get this culture of boycotting our government, because I know you want to act in this nationalistic way. You want to show your patriotism to your country, that when they invite you in a State House, you need to go answer to the call, of being like a very nationalistic person. But you don't feel, say, as a result of this, you go to genuinely from your heart, but the SLPP government go use them to their own advantage. And this is why they continue kind of like getting all these accolades around the world, thinking that they are very liberal. And I feel say it condone them for making them use UNA as a shield for kind of like go create an image now the outside world. Do you not? Because that for me, I think if a government is messed up, you should boycott them.
Yeah.
Oh, we lost him.
No, you're on, Wilfred.
No, he's on mute. He's on mute.
Wilfred, you need for unmute. You're mute.
He's still on mute, I think.
Yes. Okay, he's on mute now. Yeah, you're on mute now. You can talk. We not hear you. Oh, man. Okay, Wilfred, if you hear we not hear you. So I go on to Alfred, but feel free for intervene at any time. So we gonna say that your audio is back. Yeah? Fred.
Yes.
The cost, Wilfred. Hello, Wilfred. Okay, no, your audio still down, but anytime if you hear we, feel free for interject. The cost for food, energy, and everything else is expensive. This look like say it's very, very true. And the president also used this in the Independence Day address. Will you address this, please, Freddie, in your own perspective?
Yes, thank you, Prince Kroma. I totally agree that the cost of things them expensive. Sorry, but any government, again, let me make it practical now. As you get you lovely picking in our host, Prince Kroma, to the extent it can even help you where IT business choke you now, they can help you, right?
Absolutely, guys.
Yeah, and then then all of a sudden you see and say, oh, you know what, things they don't become expensive. I'm not going to kind of like maybe go pull Nami Kotoku and kind of like help Una until we get for dying. If we survive, we survive. In other words, you kind of like live a life of chance. It bothers me. Governments now Africa get for realize say the number one responsibility now the people. Look after the people no matter the cost. Look after the people. You get for expected challenges them get for calm you way as a government. You have to make sure there is a provision for the people. It goes back like in the UK. Somebody go say, oh, that in the UK. Oh no, the principle still stands and apply to every country. When the UK, the follow scheme, when COVID hit so badly, people could have easily been made like they would not lay them off, go out of work. What did they do? They actually create this follow scheme. And guess what, Prince Chroma? This follow scheme, the money wasn't there. The government not be get this money. Now debt, now you go take. Debt.
Yeah, but Fred.
Yeah.
But the government, you get forget guarantee, and probably that's what you're speaking to. Say the other government, they not get guarantee because had they had the guarantee, therefore be able to go take debt. So it's not like the money actually lay down.
I love
when
that
you
question.
get trust and confidence, you can go
I
take
love
debt.
that question. But where does guarantee comes from? This government then guarantee all now the fact that people place confidence in them, say when things change, they can turn things around. You know the interesting thing? We get way beyond just confidence. We can even kind of like use, we get so much collateral that people can use if we're serious. If we
I like your confidence. Wilfred, you hear me now? You there on mute, Wilfred? You hear me now? Wilfred, come on.
I know.
Such a shame.
I know.
We know they hear you, brother. We know they hear you. Anyway, back to Freddy. On the same issue where you talk about, the government of Sierra Leone, through the president on this Independence Day, Fred, they go on for say, he admits say there are difficult economic times. Economic times are hard. The President Bio actually admits that. But it they imply or they say it helped for soften that impact the hard economic times. Do you agree or don't you agree? And whether you do, why? If you don't, why?
Okay, I totally disagree. And this is the reason why, as cheeky as it is, I think the president they lie. How can you tell us you use every means for cushioning the effect? Yes, been the 200,000, it is now 500,000. Whose magic way you use for cushioning the effect? And you know what? We have to understand one thing in Africa. The rest of the world, not even the.
So you therefore forgive me on this side because we fast they run out of time, and there's a host of things that I want to talk with the presidency on Independence Day.
Yeah.
So forgive me, I get for the badge in and out.
Absolutely.
But in what he just said just now, are you only looking at rice? Say, okay, you don't believe the president when he say a cushion, whatever. But of course, rice price don't go 500,000. But if the increase you pay from 100,000 to 200,000, it don't help for cut down that cost. Not so. I mean,
Thank you. So that's the point I was just about to make. I'm not
okay,
even
carry on, please.
Not even rest at the talk about. I just give example for rest. And you know the interesting thing, rest price not actually go up in the world. Rest price not go up in the world at all. The metric tons. In fact, rest price per metric tons right now they're at $452 per metric ton. Like one time in there, I think 10 years ago, like it was 600 and something per metric tons. Now the only thing, now the supply chain issue, it cause like maybe shipment cost and all that in the day go make it kind of like go up. But let me go to the petrol. The moment like Ukraine and Russia war take place, where it be say we be just stockpile of oils them, what's it happen? We see straight away they shoot the price go to 15,000. Is that pushing the effect of the people?
No, but it say if this is something that we can go by, that this was affected by unscrupulous individuals and businessmen, and we hear this word back in resurface called hoarding. A lot of hoarding begin for go on because the businessman we already getting tanked and full. When a common business practice, by the way, we withdraw them goods then they from the market and create artificial scarcity. We pipe the prices up.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Prince, again, this same way you talk about hoarding, Joe Biden noticed it in America. He even announced some in America, say people enough will do that. When it happen, it go to like I think like I don't forget how they call them strategic oil reserve and pump oil into the system. Yes, Salone will get them, but for make you sit down like you the control. In fact, it comes out from the president, the Salone Petroleum regulatory body or so. Now they announce some. It wasn't like remember with petrol price, no, they kind of like they're on a free market, right? Where people have kind of like they just increase them. Now the government self announced the increase in price. And then justify them by saying that now because of the Ukraine and Russia war. Okay, if you say you want to cushion the effect, why in 2 weeks' time after the Russia war, you straight away take like petrol price straight away to 15,000? Is that cushioning the effect like of the cost of the entire? No, come on, Rapins, let we not be fooled. And this is not the thing where I always tell people them. Like when you look at the country, we get potential. People are waiting for disbursed money, for giving money now that country day. All it takes now political stability. Let people have confidence in Salone. Until, and if you cannot, again, I keep the emphasis on Camarema, maybe it's just an isolated case, but you cannot be doing anything there. You allow people, you expect people to get confidence in you. But please, if you today, you say, can lend me money, then you expect, say, I die tomorrow, you go lend me your money.
Alfredo not even begin a paribule with way breeze come matter odona fana in yeah. I mean, I'm just asking the questions, but you obviously are spot on. But I want to create a deeper perspective into the conversation. Hence why they ask that, looking at structures and systems and what have you. Now, who get the structure? So we can have doubts about the government, but when they create then falsehood, and if I can call them as such, it's out for citizens then for articulate the falsehood by providing the evidence to the people, which I think say you are doing. I'm only trying to ask you these questions. Another question would be in this same vein. The president talk about this independence ceremony, say this hard time where people and they go through, in government be able for put into action some economic recovery programs. And part of their economic recovery programs there get for do with things like subsidies and tax incentives, something where you don't talk about for the best part of the 4-year administration of ex-brigadier His Excellency Julius Maada Bio. But when they talk about the 4 years now at Independence 61, what say you, Mr. Sanko, in terms of the economic recovery programs where the president, they allude, say, then do or then take in terms of subsidies and tax incentives? If you can break the two for we down, first of all, before you go in depth, subsidies, tax incentives, keeping in background, waiting the president when you talk about the hardship, petrol, res, and things like that.
You see, like, for instance, like the subsidy, you go say, okay, if res supposed to cost 600,000, I will subsidize it so it will be 400,000, 300,000. And then like the tax incentive, you go see and say maybe Sentenengi duty free, like certain thing them duty free, and then you say let we suspend tax in certain thing, let we make GST in certain products them way the people they need, we remove GST and all that thing in there. So that's the difference. But Prince Koma, if I want to give subsidy today to Salone, what's in the thing them way so pertinent to people?
Tell us, please.
Is it not rice? Is it not petrol? The basic that the people need. The number one Katima, go surely be rice. And then the petrol. Because, like, again, if we go to the Renaissance man, the current ACC boss, he told us fuel will underpin the basic movement of people. That tells you how critical the ACC man be CM then, but not now. Anyway, but you see, when you look at all these things, you cannot tell us that you give subsidy to people. And what is a lot of people I don't know, Prince Koma, and I want to make people have kind of like pay attention here. You remember the time where I think it was 2017 where IMF frowned at the last government for where they not take the subsidy, where they say they need to remove the subsidy. Do you know the time where petrol will go to 6,000 leons na Salone? That was the government removing every subsidy. In other words, they take out every subsidy from the fuel price. Na Salone. Now it make fuel go to 6,000. So the question now begs, if the last government we don't remove every subsidy, and again I be talk to like an ex-minister, we tell me say somebody go say, oh, a politician. We tell me say clearly. In fact, I not no, actually not to ex-minister, now somebody will be the work in Salone Petroleum. In fact, even in London right now. It tell me say the reason we make like the subsidy kind of like be reduced now, instead of 100%, they reduce it to 80%, 85% or so. It's saying that because at the time where the loans been depreciate, it says so it will end up
Yeah.
can be like 85% of
Yeah,
like,
I was going to ask exactly that, so you explain. Yeah.
thank you. So straight away, like at the time when this government came, they met like a country where like the subsidy was either 100% or 85% because of like the depreciation in the currency. Oh my god.
Okay. Family, we don't lost Alfred out there briefly. No, no, waiting they go on, and he's not in Freetown. He day London, I believe, or maybe the holiday somewhere. But just for reminder now quickly, this now a program on Salone in 61st Independence anniversary. And me when they talk to una today, the 27th of April, we mark Salone 61 year. My name na Prince Emil Koma, and we talk about real issues. And we are having this conversation on the basis of civility, that we can disagree for agree. We choose the language we would use for converse or have the conversation, and we hope say we keep that the same way now the chat room, which takes me to the chat room for the first time this evening. I want to begin with somebody in contribution, John Bowoma Jaya Jalingo. I hope I pronounced the name right. Sierra Leone Parliament is very corrupt. They are getting their own court. The same man, I don't know whether a man or a woman, John Bowoma Jaya Jalingo, can the media investigate how much is spent on education under this SLPP government? Do we need a journalist like Bontin Davis to dig deeper into Sierra Leone education? Of course, why not? I mean, the purpose out there of the fourth estate is to ask these inconvenient questions and potentially trigger investigations of them kind there where people then will take interest in. So that's a good one, Jobwoma. The big white elephant in President Bio's speech is how much is spent on education in Sierra Leone. Somebody way on that earlier. Alimami Kamara. Hi, Brother Prince. Hi, Brother Almami. Sorry, I just see this now. The next government, and the same Mr. Almami Kamara, will definitely have to make reference to the previous government. Can Mr. Sankor tell us the last budget of APC before somebody asked that question, the last budget of the APC? I hope I remember that. Mr. Jibril Pompi Sise. Lol, una still dey pan blame. Pan blame game. Well, Jibril, listen, we can't just go straight like nuclear bomb. Bam. Then there will be nothing left. And I want to say this to you, brother. If you get for speak to the people, you really have to be convincing for make a case. You have to make a case to the people for understand. Because then you need for understand the mentality of we people. So in as much as you don't make deep inroads into social media, a lot of people criticize you whilst a lot of people agree with you. You want to tell me say, you know, go try forget some of them people and they will criticize you for join the one they will join you so that you will get a majority. This is what it is. Many thanks for your contribution. Anyway, Almami Kamara, you can clearly see the so-called elite. We are not even prepared to govern. Abubakar Bangura, I like Cashbox in platform, but I not like the way they present issues. Basically, the ways and manners in the discuss issues by talking for the masses, I believe. Okay, I believe say Cashbox will read this later. Almami Kamara, now we all play day as Central One born. Yes, Almami Kamara, the try for saying now we all born there because I've been talking about Dovecourt and Central. Martha Bangura is watching from London. Hi, Sister Martha. Many thanks for watching. But at Jalingo, can Cashbox tell us how much was spent on Independence Day celebration under President Bio and compared to President Koroma, who spent more money on celebration? That's a good one. We need to know how much was spent. And who didn't give the money? We know say at one time the First Lady was giving money for Independence Day celebration. And that program they come soon, I promise you now. Sila Isata is watching from London. Hi, Sister Sila Isata. Many thanks for watching. Please share the program. Israel Ojeke Papa Senior. Prince, the clip film you show was not Independence Day. That was in November 1961, not April 1961. That clip was on Her Majesty's visit. Her cousin, the Duke of Kent, represented the Queen at Independence in April 1961. There are clips of the Duke, okay, hosting the New Sierra Leone. And Mr. Ojeka Senior, I appreciate the correction and are familiar with what you talk. And the way our present yes, it was not on Independence Day 1961. They try to create a perspective leading to the independence, waiting happen, and there's so much material, as you can see. I do so much, your paperwork, all this material for the Independence Day celebration. So I think I really do appreciate that correction, and I'm deeply humble. Many thanks, sir. Who is this? Jalingo, are proud that your country got independence. You sound like a stupid tribalistic woman. I wonder who is this brother addressing. Miriam Koroma, the SLPP guys are all scammers. Here again, this is the language is not really wrong. It's not it's not acid in that sense, in that raw form. But we are just careful how we express ourselves. But many thanks for that, Sister Miriam Koroma. Junior Cabo, yep, I think he's agreeing with the lady. Lydia Laila Kande Dual, thanks, guys. Junior Cabo, thank you, Sister Lydia Laila Kande Dual. It seems like a first timer. Maybe I've missed the name before, but it's quite a unique name. Many thanks for watching. Junior Cabo, Salone at 61, still struggling with the network. What a shame. So I think he was alluding to, what's his name? The other guest, Mr. Wilfred Wise, trying to join the program. Lydia Kandedua, pathetic, responding to Junior Cabo. Abubakar Bangura, thank you, Mr. Wise, for being so patriotic and honest. Sierra Leoneans want to meet with you personally, sir. So, Mr. Wise, I hope so you will take note. Somebody to express the opinion on the basis of many Sierra Leoneans, then we go like for meet you. Samuel Bangura, this is really sad for our nation. Our nation is giving more incentive to government ministers and creating more ministries. Yeah, Junior Cabo, this is a sad state of affairs for our country. It is very sad for our people. Sister Lydia, sad state of affairs. Prostitution and drugs is the order of the day in Sierra Leone. We usai we go now. And this is a good sentiment this sister expressed. Prostitution and drugs in a country that shows the degradation of the society and how bad it is, the level where they. And this is something that we need to talk about. Many thanks for bringing that up. And I think Brother Wise also talk about that same thing. Brother Israel Ojeke Papa Senior. Oh my God, thank you, Mr. Wilfred Wise. The sadness resonates in your voice. You make this day want to be remembered too. Too sad, but thank you for your open and frank, fearless input. I absolutely agree with that sentiment. Fatima Sisse, good job, brother. God bless you all. Thanks. I hope say this is me. I suspect say this is me. And Sister Fatima Sisse, it seems like a first timer as well. Happy Independence to you. Many thanks for your kind sentiment. We should have planned ourselves for 40 years. Same Sister Fatima Sisse, again agree. But God bless our country, Sierra Leone. Absolutely, God bless the country, and I toast the country. Sister, do I no confidence to invest in Africa? Absolutely no confidence. Fatima Sisse, true brother. Fatima Sisse again, true talk cash box. And Sister Sisse, true. Sister Lydia, it is about time those in leadership in Sierra Leone put policies and structures in place that will benefit our nation. Sister Sisse, host, you did a great job with thank you very much. I'm the host, so it's me. Sister Fatima, true talk, brother Cashbox. Sister Laila Kande, they look after themselves and watch the people die. Greed. Brother Gali Dowd, many thanks for contributing. But African governments take debt for themselves, Prince. Yeah, okay, the brother been address me. Yeah, it is true. They take that for themselves, not for the people, but then the people have to pay through taxation and long after they've gone. I agree with you. Fatima say true talk. Gali Dowd, example, money for COVID was used to buy cars for the ministers claiming to fight COVID with cars. And again, you're absolutely right. And they not buy meaningful cars. They go buy them big SUVs, them where they consume so much petrol and there are no spare parts for them immediately if they break down. See them parking there now. They are all like SUV graves. Well said, Mr. Dowda. Um, Abubakar Bangura, Cash address the issue directly. Forget about what is going on in another country. Talk about Salone problems. I think that's a good one. But believes in an example even you try for make. Gali, which sector have they increased wages? Okay, I think that was to me. When he is smuggling tons and tons of timber out of the country and factory in his pocket, Sister Lydia, and that's quite true. Then change the system of measurement. Remember that Cuscas will be open now, social media and the government of Sierra Leone regarding Timbergate, in which the then Auditor General put money as far as he know in terms of the measurement weighing yam, not knowing for say under independence will be don't come under the imperial system, we don't become to waiting at the system, the metric system. Somehow they want dilate we eyes and put finger on we eye, then tell we a different thing, and then the cost sound differently. All I know, Babadi Kamara owe the government of Sierra Leone and the people of Sierra Leone, not the government, the people of Sierra Leone money. And hopefully one day he will have to answer these questions. Never mind the rubbish then what he built stadium na Bo or Kenema, which is good, but this is like paying back. That's what he's trying to do. To appeal to the people like he's paying back. Good. But you will still need to answer these questions one day. It is help, but no one is interested. Battle, wicked, and selfish and greedy. Rootman, talk like sense, BP. I don't know what the Rootman mean there, but the way he talk and straight, I love that. Prince Tope, good talk. I don't know again who that is addressed to. Jesse Barry, my stop comparing us to the USA and Britain. Okay, Jesse Barry. There's a lot of first-time names there, and I'm very impressed. Thank you very much for participating. I sure say in a cash box maybe they compare USA and Britain to Salone. But again, there was a reason why he was doing this. Rootman, now that make we they go down the drain. So because everywhere in the world without tax, it's not a country. Prince Top, cash analogies are spot on. Fatima say we the people are not happy of what is going on in government or what government is doing and treating our nation. Without fact, there is no case, Sister Duwai. Matthew Rollins, thank you, Mr. Kroma, for this program. And much thanks to your honorable guest. Can you please highlight the percentage of people this government has taken out of poverty since they took over power? Very good contribution, Mr. Matthew Rollins, because this is what we want to talk about here. Things that are circumstantial and statistically can inform the conversation. That's exactly what you want to do. Get the numbers, what in the data say. So how many people has this government taken out of poverty? I can say for sure, not many. In fact, many more people are in poverty. And the government itself has admitted to that. And they've given the reason why. COVID-19, the war in Ukraine. This has spiked up prices of goods and services to which we used to be a beneficiary, whether than oil and what have you. So that's what it is. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's the reading from the chat room today. So Mr. Cashbox. So Cashbox, you've been listening to me keenly. I don't even realize say you're back, but many thanks for coming back. At least we don't pay homage to the people and let's just go back strictly to waiting the president in the say today. And many thanks for your patience, but I really appreciate that. So we don't talk about the quick action when the president say take in terms of subsidies and tax incentive, where you don't explain and quite powerfully. He also say it takes social safety net programs for help the hardest hit, social net safety programs for help the hardest hit and most vulnerable in our society. Cashbox, we don't go deep, and I know say you get them picking them for look after, and you've done well. So if we can do them fast, if you understand, What does the president mean by this? He don't take social safety net program for help the hardest hit and the most vulnerable in the society. Do you agree with this sentiment, or what
Um,
exactly the president mean?
if I mean, as a brother say about the statistics, I think like somebody will be the reading message, almost people are
Yeah.
don't take out of poverty. Look around us. If prostitution is on the rise, if drugs like taking is on the rise, where is the social benefit to the people? I don't. Sometimes it confuses me because the sad thing is we do not have this data, and the people that we get the data them for analyze this, the parliamentarians, they are just as useless. I'm sorry to say, because other hotel we say they don't even they get access to like this information. They cannot go to any ministry and say and there is an oversight budget to these parliamentarians that they give to them. Can they give us this information? But the only thing we can see, it is clear to all. It is so clear, vividly clear to us that the country they go like they're in a back foot because the prostitution way Mr. Wise tell me about earlier, like the drugs and all that thing. Where is the social amenities like where these governments bring to the people? Where are they? Can we not see it? I mean, if people are kind of like dying of hunger, like people have there all over the country, people in the grumble, like left and right. Who side the benefits there? Where is the social benefit? We get to understand one thing: this government they play with. Remember, all these things that they say, they use it for go take money in the international community. Again, the donor mentality. They use it. So it is easy for me to say these things. Let me tell you, like the way I see all the speeches from this president, it is for appease the international community. For me to see, say, that money that we don't go ask for, they use them to wait and go ask them for. But look at the lives of people. Can you really see any transformation in the people's
Yeah,
lives?
I think that answers the question. And I love the way you throw it back at the people, at the audience. So yes, Prince Chroma said this. Waiting I say, Fambulem, una look at waiting it is say, but una make the judgment for yourselves. So this, I believe, is what Mr. Sanko is saying. This transformation in the lives of people, that he's taking social measures or social safety measures for help the most vulnerable to the society. Fambulem, una look at the people and una make the decision for una self. I will leave it at that. Fred, the president also went on for say, we have managed. They put them in fact, this is verbatim. We've managed the economy responsibly and support the growth of the private sector. Your sentiment, please.
Rapper, sometimes these things, let's just give it to the people. Let them be the judge. Because for me, I know that's utter rubbish. When you talk to like somebody go say, oh, because of the culture, or like don't speak to the president like that. But you cannot. Where is the private sector? Where is the empowerment of the private sector? Where you go and kind of like even with the GST, you are planning to tax the people twice. Like the last GST saga way happened at the country. You say you try for manage for get the private sector for build on themselves. Look what's going to happen. They tax the people GST in Awataki. Then when the people come back for council and Prince Koma, sometimes it bothers me where people like they talk say stop comparing ourselves with UK and America. No, I do not expect for us to be like them. But I would always compare the structure that they have in place. It is right for us to compare the structure. Tax nothing where nobody know for pay twice. Nobody. The moment you pay tax twice, now stealing. You rob the people. You should never, any tax na this world should not and cannot be paid twice. But what's going to happen if you say you encourage private sector, but yet still the small businesses them, now you don't reduce the threshold for which people have, now even people in a cookery shop need for pay GST. Where is the social measures them where you put in place? People in the staff as it is, but people are now in a cookery shop. Therefore, they therefore add 15% of the cookery money.
And Fred, has that changed? Because I think the people resisted, and I think now they speak to always shop and lock because people and say no, we cannot have this. The government don't change your mind because I know say few of the people the way we all interact on social media, then now them politicize them as if you get one set of people who just there against the Malabio government. That even when they talk about taxation regime, they are opposed to it and they make them politics. But then BOBO, like you they say, the cookie people themselves will be charged GST. And that they spike the price for cookie go up because you get for pay tax. Talk a little bit about this. Talk a little bit about this, please.
No, but this is the thing. I do not know if they've changed it. But the only thing I would doubt if they change it. Salone gets one thing. When once the government wants something, there is no way that they change them. Past they feel sorry for change them. But anything where this government want do, then they do them. The thing is, people like they say, oh, well, like, why make the people enough or pay tax and all that thing? And the problem I get now we country now the fact that people just not care as long as you did at this party, anything where this party do, like it is right. If you did at that party, anything where it do, it is correct. You don't allow for criticize them. I remember back in the days, like, during the APC, like when, started coming out, talking about politics and economic issues, people let me say, oh, in the SLPP day, now people let me tell me say, APC are because that's just how the country day. Now, when you look at the country, the same thing I criticized the APC for iron ore. Like the time where like we get a serious, price problem by the iron ore. I say, look, as a responsible government, you don't foresee them in an edge you position. I criticize them. They begin come after me. But this is what we're facing. Look, Prince, this tax business, why on earth? For me, I think Salone, again, I go back, somebody go say, oh, you're being very, very hypothetical. You just the think, when I can say you dream big, you die poor. No. That's not what I'm trying to achieve now. Saudi Arabia, few years ago, when people they left now the UK, the America, then they go Saudi Arabia because they pay little or no tax at all. Because then we get oil where they generate boku money for them, so much so that they will attract the best people, the doctors, the best financiers for going to the country. So much so that people were not paying tax. I tell you one thing, Brad Prince, if we can utilize what we have, we can kind of like attract the best people in that country. We don't even need for tax people. Until we develop to a certain level, then when we reach that stage, you see Saudi Arabia right now, they don't begin the tax because they want to begin to diversify the economy. They don't use the natural resources for develop the country. Now they want to begin that. Now more into tourism. Now they want to go. But wait till you go see. Like, look, people in the talk say, oh, no, compare with we're in the UK. Where Mr. Wise be the talk Jishno. If they tell we say it go to hospital, no dialysis or machine not in the country. When they talk up, straight away I go type almost in the cell proper dialysis machine. You know how much it cost, Brad Prince?
Yeah.
$15,000.
Oh dear.
$15,000. Wait till we see them there. Somebody go buy the president in frame for 500 million.
It's a joke. It's a joke, brother. And again, on the issue of the president and the address on Independence Day, Salone at 61 years, the president talk about he has promoted, he don't promote the promotion and the protection of human rights and good governance. What say you, Mr. Sanko?
Oh God, sometimes like, maybe we just the say that in there because maybe God puts win at this place that people listen. Maybe since not even they listen to Madabio. Honestly, I find it really, really difficult for listening to Madabio. Very difficult. If not video, they turn my phone upside down because I need for listening for maybe analyze. So I am forced to do it. How can you talk about human rights? Look at Kamaremba, for God's sake. Look, no, just one case. Look at Kamaremba Mansari. Look at the Michael Mansari. Look at a guy in a Kenema where say, oh, the president and wife don't commit sin. That guy, they will not even know who side they right now. Look at them guy, them where they that guy in 91 where they kill in Bele Uman, they cry on top of. Where is the human rights, Naya? That Tumbo, the list goes on. Where is the, you know, Prince Koma, this guy.
Yeah, okay. I get you. I feel your pain, brother. On the same issue of the president in conversation or in talk to in people on Independence Day, Salone 61 year. The president also say he don't build and rehabilitate more schools. He don't put more money into education. I know say we talk about money in education, and we say more money than that same 22%, which now they come under question from critically minded people and they don't provide universal access for all the picking them for go free school in a salon, free learning and teaching materials, vocational education. I think now you be now Wilfred and I be mentioned that or you vocational education. Is it they don't revamp them and they on the up and they do quite well. So education in the president in view has been changed or revolutionized. Let help with the word because that's exactly what I mean. In just 4 years, your perspective, please.
You know, the idea of free and quality education, I think it was very, very good. I think that idea, for me, the only good thing but free and quality education is the idea. The idea is very, very good because, you know, it make like, you know, picking them kind of like get the awareness of like the education. But the implementation of this thing is a complete sham. You know, I tell Salone people, and people go feel say you're just being partisan. But you know, Prince Chroma, this government, everything that they do, now for good drag. In other words, then they use with oil for flyway. You know, I give example, like when you go and if you remember one time where it say, you know, we're gonna CNN or I think that one conference, I don't know whose conference that one, the way it say each Pekin they save $500 each child, $500 per a child, and then you kind of like think about it for a year. $500 is saying at 2.6 million Pekin them they use the free and quality education. When you do the calculation, Mr. Prince, that tells you that it is $1.3 billion now in the pay for the Pekin. That it means now 13 trillion leons. 13 trillion leons. You know it's not the budget for Salone? It's $750 million. In other words, 7.5 trillion leons. Now we budget for Salone. But this man, they tell we say, in the pay, in other words, they subsidize for the parents them 13 trillion. How does that make sense? How is it possible? How is it possible? You know, this is the reason why I tell people like this all free education thing is just like a milk, like for milk the system, for milk with money, for go bigger with. And if you look at this country, this government, they come at a time where like the world be the focus on human empowerment. Then in 2017, 2018, that was kind of like very, very key. The world be the focus on anything and they so badly. And then they also they look at women's empowerment. Now I make the car with the hands of our girls. Then wait again, we see like the world be the focus on environmental issues. Wait till you see, we see the very first time they create a ministry of environment. Look at the pattern, the game where these governments they play consistently with the people. They use we as human shield. I mean, if you feel say the education is that better, can you picking go there? You know when they sell cookery, you know they eat your cookery where you they sell. It doesn't make sense. Salone people, come on. I mean, let's see it. The idea is very good, and I think every government should run with it. But any government, future government, must go back to the drawing board and make this thing for make it become a successful one. Priscom, I don't know if you do with me, but anyway, because I know you see you on the camera and
yeah, sure. Many thanks. That's why it's good for get professional people, on the live stream because they can help you for do the live stream as well. Many thanks for that. And just a quick reading on the chat room now, just to Lahai James. He said this country in Wahala and not be small. High blood pressure. Me another pan politics.
I agree.
Yeah.
I
And
totally
Sister
agree.
Lydia, same here, Cashbox. I cannot listen to Bio. No truth in his messages. So I think somebody they resonate, here with you, sentiment we express as not listening to the president. Cashbox. But sure enough, the president also go on for say they don't hire and train more nurses and doctors. I mean the contradictions, here can be very obvious because if you say you don't train more nurses and doctors, for example, and the reason why they do that now for cut down sicknesses and die business in the country. But if die business still lay on the up and you say the people that will get the medicine for cut the die business, you don't increase them, but die still they. Then this is a false dichotomy if you understand what I mean. And I'm not saying this, but I'm posing a question to you that now so the president say they don't hire and train more nurses and doctors and maternal and child death, then they are the lowest. What say you again, Mr. Sanko?
Again, maybe we might not get the facts now. We not go ever see them. We not go ever know them until these guys
I
go
sent
out.
to the ministry for this data because I be want to speak to that expansively,
No,
but up
you'll
to press
never,
time as we speak, no.
you'll never get it.
No.
That I will promise you. You will never
No.
get it. Maybe if it's in the World Bank or some international organization, maybe they go put on it, but you will never get it. And if at all they give you, they go align with the president, because if the grace go against what the president say, that person in your own job done. So you'll never get it. But let's go to the point. You see, Prince Koma, waiting make we they get better health than the part of the world, not so because of yes, the nurses then they give you proper care, the doctors then they give you proper care, but the thing where they detect any sickness, now the machines them were available at the hospital. The equipment them were available at the hospital. The problem with your country, the nurses and doctor, they be seen, like I say, they are sorry, the charger don't just come out and
that's all right.
That kind of like make me phone go off, me laptop go off. Oops. Sorry.
No problem. I'm Fambulem. This is a very interesting program where we get here tonight. And the program, very, very interesting, if I must repeat that again. And we talk to none other but Salone Cashbox. Salone Cashbox, a man we already most people know about. A lot of people know about him because he gets a show of his own and he don't appear on many programs. Today, na Sierra Leone Indepence, we talk about Salone turned 61 year and see how proud I am, here with me flag. Fambule, I left for work this morning at about 6 o'clock. I go walk. And about 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 9-ish, I open my phone. My daughter sent me a video. I mean, she's so excited about the independence. Now, in flag this. Inside in room, you get the Salone flag. She's so excited. And this is somewhere, she's never been there, by the way. And she's 16. And I hold myself responsible that she's so enthusiastic about the country, but I not understand some of these things the way we talk, we think say, well, I can just carry and go there. I go really like for Kangode. Send me a video. They sing and dance, but Salone Independence, somewhere she's never been, she's never been before. How very interesting. So how they kind of studio now give me, you want to use my flag, Daddy? Yeah, of course I want to. And wrap myself and drape myself in me green, white, and blue. Yeah. But anyway, we did talk to Alfred Sankor, Senior. We're happy for Big Cash Box. And just on a different note, we get series of programs the way they come up. This is not just part one of the particular program where they talk about Sierra Leone at 61, which means Independence Special. Part 2, they come on Friday. We get Umfaji Kaba. We get what the man name from Canada, Harold Domingo. Very outspoken, well-spoken, and very tempered critique. Not to them one them because anytime way somebody criticize government, then because you belong to red. I don't want to see this, but this is exactly what happened. And we also get another sister, Aminata Shaw. And most likely, Cashbox, we might bring you on again because we might want to talk about a few of these issues, economically speaking. It's not like the other people cannot address it, but you might be in a clear-cut position for address them. but I will let you know by late evening tomorrow. So Fambulem will they talk to Alfred Sanko, but we also they bring how you call former government spokesman Ajibu Jallo will be on the program, and we they can talk about government in on the inside government before how government they approach things, waiting a budgetary allocation, how governments they get project, how then they write project, how international community then they approve project, how then they phase them out. A lot of the things they won't understand. Watch out. Ajibu Jallo will be on the program. But for tonight, we are with Mr. Alfred Sanko Sr., aka Cashbox. Cashbox, President Julius Malabio claims it don't build more roads and bridges. International highway where they link to Liberia. And the Mabang and Mabele Bridge, which I find a little bit, unsettled about because I do an entire program on them, and there was a reason why I do the program on them. And we dig out the facts, who side the money come out, when they give them the money for the project, and how the project may not start. Anyway, that's what the president said, and I want to bring this back to you. They don't build more roads and bridges. They build one international highway to Liberia, and then another highway to Moyamba, and the Mabang and Mabele Bridge. From the research I don't do, these are linked, and 200 and some more million may not come up from the EU, and another new highway from Kono and Kailau, and work is either ongoing or preparation is being aggressively made. Will you speak to this, please?
Absolutely. Can you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear, brother. Loud and clear. Let me just add you to the screen.
Thank you. You see, when I listen that in the and if I just touch on the health side before me because
Sure.
I don't touch that health side, when you talk about say you got to understand say the nurses them, not to which man them. Not to which man them way then they see you and then they diagnose you straight away, say, oh, you get this problem, you get this problem. What makes them operate well are these machines, these equipments, then they use them, then based on that, now they're able to treat you. But if you remember, a few months ago, the head of 34 hospital come and tell we clearly say no public hospital no get CT or MRI scan. We see where Mr. Wise just confirmed, say, and you know what? Almost in the same MRI scan as well. $50,000, $25,000. That's what they sell them for. Second hand. If even we go for second hand. But no public hospital not get one. None. And not to me say, now the head of 34 hospital, now in Tokam. When you talk about the dialysis machine, Mr. Wise just confirm them. They not get them. So if even you get boku nurses them, in fact, first of all, like if you get boku nurses them, if they do not have them in there, then nurses they are not a witch man. Except you want to make them to witch man for men they go see people they got, just by seeing you, they can see you got and know what happened to you. Anyway, let's go to this infrastructural thing, where please. Now two things there. Firstly, this clearly they tell you say the president not to in money they use for buildings in there. Just like what you say. You did like a research, you see all outside the money and they come out. Because if now the president, now the country in money they use for makeup, then it means the president wicked, in a witch, and then he don't get hurt. Why did I say that? Prince Koma, when you did so, if you they bill us, then Tin Tranga, the president now tell Will in the opening speech, this very independent speech, he said Tin and Tranga all over the world. If you they bill us, then you begin to get in for it. You go continue for build the host and make the pin and starve, or you go kind of like say stop the host first and feed the picking them. Which option would you go for?
We'll stop the host and feed me picking them.
Thank you. So clearly, for tell you say, it's either the president in a witch, a wicked, he don't care about the people, and now make it continue for the build bridges and stuff like that, and people are dying. Or, like what you just confirmed, you did a research, the money is not coming from him. It is like a donation, as always. This is not the option them where, and I believe this money them not they come out from the government at all. But why are they giving the analogy there? Now, for make people not say, oh, how you manage no sending to the government in money? Because the statistics are not there. You cannot get the information directly from them. fair enough, you've done the research. But even when you do the research, I guarantee you, if you go to the SLP people, they will tell you, say, now lie, you they lie. So certain things, let we just analyze them for the people. Let them see the picture, and then they be the judge for themselves. If now you be the provide the money, people are dying of hunger. You self-admit, would you leave the people to die and continue for build bridges and make all that in there, or you go stop the host first and feed the picking them? But it's clearly now, because the money they come out from you, now I make them things they are. Let me say now in the bill now, because the money is not yours, it's not coming from you. So let the people answer the question, Ibrahim. Look what they say, Ibrahim. I'm used to Ibrahim in business.
Okay. Again, well said, Cashbox. As we come to the end of this program, I think I get one or two reflection. I mean, we talk about this infrastructure that the president they talk about, whether they are new or not, but well addressed. This is critical, Freddie. The point here is a $300 million state of the art, a hub for the international community of nations. And they talk about airport. Never mind the descriptive language where they use, but I want for let it get effect. Was thrown to the dustbin, 300 million, a modern hub. We go define the nation, move the pressure off Freetown, which is very much congested and part of the problem of the country. That airport will have solved the problem because that will have started the beginning of a new city.
Yeah.
That was scrapped. Okay. Tangible reasons were not tangible reasons were given then. And I know, say, I listened to you many a times on that basis, on the arguments, on the basis of the reasons that were given. Now you come na radio, now you challenge many aforementioned thoughts then, because waiting and tell we, well, the capacity of this can still handle this, or when they bring bus, they go charge people and surcharge the bus where they use for transport them. Everything we then talk, I suppose, because this was twin with the Lunge Bridge, if you understand, the airport project. So we can use the buses, the way they bring come away, people then cross the bridge, then go get for pay this toll charge, no amount to what you'll be to talk about. But a year or two on, Freddie, we see a project commission for the same Lunge Airport of almost the equivalent of an airport that would have started a new beginning for a country, shape, project, like what you say from the beginning of this program, capitalize on issues we go bring economic dividend to the country. Yet that was kicked away. But 1 or 2 years on, we see 270 million project. I'm not sure whether not renovation, whether not a new terminal within a terminal, or an extension of Balunge Airport. Explain to me, because I sure see you're familiar with what I'm saying.
No, absolutely. Prince Kroma, this government, so they ever sees for, you just start like waiting a gentleman, just text. Salone business, every time you think about it, now heart attack. And the sad thing now, the fact that you get people we go justify them appalling situation they are, will tell you, say, oh, okay, how can you cancel like a airport will cost like 300 million, and then you go say you go make another terminal na Lunge? And this was the very man. Now the Lunge Bridge, not even the part of his speech. If you remember when this thing happened, when they talk about the Lunge Bridge, I said, look, now only full man, Chris man, or somebody went dodgy, now you go put a money on this Lunge Bridge. It was just not feasible. But waiting happened, how you go kind of like, because they cannot find funding from it, of course, nobody will give a grant for Lunge Bridge. And let me go back to the airport. That airport stay for them kind of like, it's just like what they say, create a new city. The kind congestion within our free talk now could have been kind of like moved a little bit. People then go down. In fact, that's anyway they announced that airport stay. house land prices them that area they don't become expensive. It don't begin to go up now. Waiting we see all of a sudden you cancel them. But you see, if we go even back to that airport the way they build them, I always they say, Salone, before we do anything, make a decision. Where is the model? Where is, I don't say people are going to talk, say, oh, always you relate things them financially. But where is the model where they build for, say, okay, as a result of, let me talk about the new airport, the new, I don't forget how they call it, Mama Airport.
Mama.
Thank you. The Mama Airport. Let me say, they don't build up. Where is the model where they tell, we say, okay, you know what? Building this airport, it will kind of like increase like the number of visitors them where they can our country. And sometimes if they for me do that, if the last government be giving that kind of thing and they have to be agree, because you know why? They try for stabilize we country. They try for create like a peaceful atmosphere now we country. To the extent that even when Madam Biogo block the president in convoy, he say no one left him because he want to create this atmosphere. And look, the kind beach that we'll get. I watched a documentary recently where they show we the island that we get. The banana island, like where like they talk about like the slave trade, where it be say like the wine bottle them where the slave master them be get. They even do some archaeology study, like where it be say they go find the wine bottle. If it was like a white man, somebody go tell me back, say, oh, you compare we and America and England and whatever. But it is just the fact, it's never don't do with that wine bottle. They could have put it in a museum. They could have been like advertising for people and go see the story about slave trade where happened at Salone. The King Tom them, who said they go ship the slave trade. We could have built something where they create this atmosphere. But when you build the airport, all these things, where is the model where you tell we say there would be like increase in like travelers in our country? Where is this model where we tell we justify the reason for building this? But let me come out from that side for the fact that the airport. But how can someone cancel a brand new airport where for not bring new economic activity and stuff like that into the country, move people from the main area, develop other areas them? There are multiplier effects into this new airport. Before that, you go spend nearly the same money for go make Lunge Airport. So basically, because the bridge not right, you try for Fenway for full people. Politicians do not respect the people of Sierra Leone, Salone.
Yeah.
Most, and they tell you, because they just feel say these people are a bunch of idiots. They don't get one respect for we. Because the Lunge Bridge, till when the president gonna parliament. But the lie don't become normal now in country. It is allowed for make somebody lie. They cannot hold him or her to account at all. Once he don't talk out, if he wants, may talk. Now, because the Lunge Bridge not right, this president we're gonna parliament. Talk about it, about the Lunge Bridge. He say like they pull Ashobi for even say that they go launch the Lunge Bridge. It did not work. Now you go make another terminal, na Lunge Bridge. For God's sake, give me now this KKY can say, give me a break. Seriously, this is sad. I cannot believe the utter disrespect these guys will get for people of Salone. I cannot believe it. They just do not respect us. They just don't care. Waiting this new terminal again. Where is the model where una don't build? Because if you don't take them, Prince Chroma, this thing go be like over capacity. In other words, we get we just spend reckless money. It not even they generate money on its own, because we don't think ahead for say how do we, because you cannot build new airport or new terminal because the country in confidence level is say they don't like people do not trust you for going to your country. Where do you get these people for kind of your country? Why do you invest all this money and their money there? Surely this money now, some side they don't go take them. Where did they get this money from? This not debt in the can put way back where it be say if the country not try for develop, we cannot be able to recover it. Because with all the roads them, again, another example where the World Bank clearly tell we one thing. If now when people in the talk about debt, oh, the last government left debt. For me, of course, we don't say they go don't thief some penny money, but all the debts they will take, we see where they build roads. But what's it happen? World Bank, this not a Salone report, World Bank and themselves tell we say, as a result of the roads they will build, you know, before they make the roads, they take 20 minutes per kilometer for transport with agricultural produce. But after they make the roads, it take 2 minutes now. So a savings of 18 minutes. Waiting we for don't do as a country is how we turn that 18 minutes there into money. That now waiting we for don't do. You see, so if even the last government they go take debt for make roads, I mean, they make road from, they take debt for make the toll road. This government is now benefiting from the toll road. They're making money out of it. Something when they be promising they will cancel. They did not cancel it. But then we say that it was like, that be just rhetorics. But like now, they make money out of it. Was that not a good debt? At least you generate money. The thing they generate money. But what if you go build this extension of the airport? Where is the money going to come from? Are they going? Is it going to be self-financed? We do not know. These guys are just given, you know. Now this, I think that Kutubu can say it's just hogwash. Seriously.
Okay, Mr. Sanko. Again, we can go on and on and on with this program, and because you're so passionate about your country, passionate about the then and now, to which you've been a huge contributor. Unfortunately, every good thing need for come to an end. But just before we end the program, Fambulem, I just want to remind you now, on Friday, we get the part 2 of this program. Independence Special Salone at 61. We get Mfaji Kaba, the deputy to the jailed ADP leader, Mohammed Kamaremba Mansari, will be on the program, Dana Mfaji Kaba. And then we get Mr. Harold Domingo from Canada. He's a liberal-minded guy, but we're going to make the decision for ourselves when he speaks. And we get Sister Aminata Shaw, whom I believe they are the host for the very first time. And we will also try to use the opportunity because I want to talk about many things. Like I say, the coming of this program, as soon as I can see, sheaf and sheep of papers. That's what we do here. We do with due diligence research before we come sit down and they talk. Not to boku talk or for can't. No. We talk things here of prominence. That's why we bring people and we germane to the conversation. So now look out for that. We also they plan for bring the former presidential spokesman, All People's Congress presidential spokesman, Mr. Ajibu Jallo, for can't tell we how internally government they work. All that thing that we they talk so you can dot the I's for we and cross the T's because it's been in there. But for now, we get Alfred Sanko Senior, aka Cashbox. Cashbox, last word. A note of optimism. It doesn't seem like there is any, let's be honest, from the conversation we've had, in the direction where would they go. Not to magic, like you say, the nurses them, not to witch doctor them. Now people that wait and train, and when you get your problem, you get for consider with them and tell them, say, oh, na make back on in the art and then diagnose you, do what they're supposed to do. Unfortunately, everything look bleak. And it sounds like say we are being used. And you know means you what you said exactly that. And not to one set of politicians. You talk generally about politicians. It's like they really don't care about we the people. So while I ask you for wrap up this program on Salone at 61, I could also like for let you touch on that basis there because that means something to me. How do we change this narrative? Will there be a paradigm shift away from the normal? Because now so they see them, like say, they want and they now so no more we already we use them. 5 years they come election, and they can't begin tell we all kind of thing, they can't convince we. How do we change this narrative? But capture for with the 61 year, and then you talk about changing this narrative with politician and parliamentarian them, we don't talk about for the last year or so, because they're also deceitful. The floor is yours, Sanko.
Thank you. You know, I'll keep it very short. And I think, as we say, it is just the respect with them people that are not get for we, and they don't kind of like see we like big fool them. They will play the tribal card. They will play everything where they feel say dear to we. They feel say the tribe things them mean a lot to we. So like it is not easy for see like maybe Timni man, Limba man, we go oppose APC. It is not easy for see Minde man, we go oppose the almighty Paupa. You know, for me, it is That is the seriousness of the mess where we depend. So, you know, it is not about policies. It is about who that belong to me tribe. You know, it's got nothing to end. I want to talk to Sierra Leoneans then, you know, like the hardship we they face in our country, not to team demand, many man they get special prize and the team demand get special prize. Where they sell things them, it affect we all. Yes, you go see and say Boku many man and they will get an handout from this government. And then when certain APC come, you know, they get like handout from their own government, the man and get handout. This is the problem. For me, let's vote on policies. You know, Mr. Wise did say something, say, let we vote for people and we get like experience and stuff like that. I totally agree. But again, you know, even people with experience, we say you feel they get experience, waiting they don't do. You know, like you go look at the Abbas Bundu, you say, you know, waiting, they don't get experience. PhD holders, some of the man them way people they say that the most learned Sierra Leoneans across the world. Waiting it do. Look the mess way it cause na parliament. But you see, we are praised. Unfortunately, the dynamics of the politics, I don't care what people say. It is APC and SLPP. And I want to believe that even the APC gets a responsibility for make sure say they give the people like somebody with credible. Because if that is the dynamics of the politics, then if APC can put other alaki person, well, we don't. Because you know, Salone people need the change. And I believe, if only like a third force can come, we don't get rid of them two party there because the history messy. However, I do not believe in the parties them. Because you look at the America them, you get the Republican and the Democrats. The UK, you get the Labour and the Conservative. Everywhere else across the globe, in most of the countries them, they will not develop. They are like, just like that. But what can we do to change it? It is about the people, the leaders them. And I want to believe Salone waiting all it takes. One green leader can change that country. The one green leader where they say, I would empower the institutions. I would not get involved with the ACC. I would not get involved with the parliament. I would not get involved or control the judiciary. That is what we need. We need somebody, a leader, where genuinely want to develop this country. And I think, for me, people need to get rid of this government. Somebody will say, oh, technically you're campaigning for APC because you say a two-party no more day. For me, if even APC gives somebody who was past Madabio, before that, let me just continue with this Alaki. Go better. But for even think about Madabio another 5 years, it can give me sleepless night because I know the potential of Salone. Madabio do not have what it takes at all. This guy don't destroy that country they so badly. Some man will tell me, say, you're just playing politics. I am not, Prince Chroma. We have to be serious, and Salone people need for do their registration and vote and do the rightful. But make sure they vote based on merit, not based on tribe. Not to say because me na Mende, not to say because me na Timni, Limba, or whatever. Let's vote based on policies and for who that. And when somebody we give the person the mantle, remember the constitution give you the right. The person not allowed for finish in time. We can come out and protest. Because now this make certain way some man cannot get to 5 years now. He say a thief, I better myself. I wanna wait. No, the constitution tell we say we can impeach the president through the parliamentarians. Put pressure on the parliamentarians. Let them know the role them because this is what we need for change that country, for God's sake. Thank you.
Wow. There are a few times that we get programs that way they end on a high note. This definitely is one of them. And I want to say thank you so much to the guest. We celebrate Salone at 61. And when I say celebrate, of course, the country, the hemorrhage and the brain. And there are many more people in poverty today, and I'm speaking on the record. You may not like it, and this is why you try to criticize me, but waiting at your counter argument. What we are saying, is it a lie or is it the truth? But today, I want to pledge me love and loyalty to my country, Sierra Leone, green, white, and blue. I pledge to protect and provide her with everything necessary and needed at all times. That's why I'm donning my national colors, the stripes, green, white, and blue. And look, me brother, the fearless mountain, the fearless lion, the fearless colors, green, white, and blue. This is what we do. We don't just talk
Absolutely.
the talk, we walk the walk. Mr. Sanko, many, many thanks, my brother.
You're welcome.
And hopefully on Friday, you might be a part of the program again, but I will
Absolutely.
let you know later
Anytime.
on. We
Okay.
still on today. I will let you know later on tomorrow.
Okay.
But thanks so
Thank you.
much. And
Thank you very
Fambulen,
much.
we've come to the end of another brilliant program. Today is the 27th of April, 2022. Independence was in 1961. Today is 61 years, and now will be the talk about. Una begin for wind down now because the program has effectively come to an end. I mean, just want to say thank you to Una and Una goodbye. I just leave Una with we closing program. Thank you so much. Green, white, and blue. Thank you all. Happy Independence to you all. We hope that there will be reason for optimism. Until Friday, don't forget to tune in on the same program for the same program, part 2 of it. Good night, goodbye, good day, all. Bye-bye.